Direction, choose your own path.
You know this is the home of We Major, Me Frosty, Unfamous, and the restricted clothing brands. Let's get it.
The message is always in the cloth, the colors, the designs, the fit. Basically, pay attention, stay alert, and remember, choose your own path.
Direction, choose your own path.
Don't just wear anything. Wear garments that mean something. We got hats. We got sweatshirts. We got jackets. We even got hoodies. Let's not forget our classic tees. Direction, choose your own path.
The message is always in the cloth, the colors, the designs, the fit. Basically, pay attention, stay alert, and remember, choose your own path.
This Might Be Risky sponsorship package is here. Have your ad run on our live streaming episodes, linked in the video description and attached to our many hot take clips. The channel is fast growing with thousands of views and subscribers. Don't miss your chance to grow your business on one of the fastest growing platforms on YouTube. Join the family today. This Might Be Risky. Email us at thismightberisky@gmail.com if interested. Hashtag Indeed, hashtag Do the Right Thing.
It just impedes! DJ Ham the Stamp. DJ Ham the Stamp.
Love you soon, bye. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. DJ Hampton Stampede, we in the building. What's popping? Move to the original show Wednesday evenings. We are back. You heard? Let's get it. Terrell, what's goody?
What's up, Happy Lampy?
What's popping? How you? Everything's everything?
Mm-hmm.
Your makeup look nice and all that. You going out after this?
I got no makeup on. Lipstick.
Word? Okay.
Shit like that.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap. Perfect.
I like it, man. I like it. Mr. Fantastic, what's good?
Brother. Yo, what up, man?
How you? Everything's everything. You look a little exhausted. You all right?
Hey, man, I'm all right. I'm gonna make it, man.
The crackers ain't bother you down there. You need me to come down there?
Nah, never, man. They don't, hey, all they do is tell me I look like I play for the Jags. That's about it, man.
Wow. Stop the cap.
Nigga, you look 50, nigga. I think they know this. That's what's up, man. Sean was shaking.
Man, it ain't shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Just seeing who I'm gonna argue with today. Yeah.
Who you got in your sights? Or you don't want to give it away too quick?
August, man. It's usually fantastic, man. This nigga August, man. I don't know, man. This nigga diabolical, bro.
He be on some bullshit.
Yeah, man. He be saying some real shit too. You know,
word is born.
I gotta make it look interesting on my end. You feel me?
Yeah, that's a fact though. Richbully.shop. I know we still under construction. But make sure you go follow Sean Antonio on the gram. I know Impress will find it. Feel me? That way you can follow him for all the latest updates. If you need to make an inquiry regarding the order and all that, you could DM him for details and shit like that. You need somebody to make a purchase, man. You know what I mean? There's no discount code, none of that bullshit. You feel me?
Shit like that.
The shit is fire. The quality is amazing. I vouch for it, man. 100%. You heard? Speaking of that, Mr. Fantastic, where is the BABG website, bro?
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Yeah, hold on, brother. Let me get it together, brother. Let me get it.
Talk your shit. You got one?
Nah, I just got a Spring Link, bro. So I don't have a whole website. Even though I own it, I own the domain, but I'm gonna build a website one of these days.
So you bullshitting?
Sort of, kinda. But hey, I forgot, man. But I got you.
Yeah, we need the link. Drop it in the chat so Empress can assign that link to somebody to drop every 15 to 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Love, support, show love by support.
Perfect.
August was shaking.
Shit like that.
Man, what's popping with it, man?
Everything, man. Everything and nothing. What's goody, man? How was your day and all that?
Productive, man. I'm on the road right now. Yeah.
Word, you still selling drugs? I mean, you still what you up to? My bad,
Man,
my fault.
YouTube, man.
YouTube. Cooking, huh?
Cooking, dog.
Word is bomb, man. Make sure I know they got the link. What's the page called again though? Just refresh.
Yeah, August More Reacts. Y'all find me there, man.
Perfect.
So Impress, I know she's gonna sign the link. She's gonna get the link. We're gonna drop it every so often. Crimson, what's popping? Let's get it, man. We trying to grow. What you at right now? You know off the top of your head?
Subs, 1,900.
That's what's up, man.
1,900.
That's what's up, man. They say most people don't make it that far. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we on it.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Go like, share, and subscribe, man. Support the people. Support the content creators. I know we make it look easy. It is not, man. Trust me. Trust me when I tell you. Shy, we're shaking.
Another day, man. Another opportunity to do better than I did it yesterday. I keep saying that.
Oh, that's a fact, though. How we looking on the screen? Is that the right terminology?
Short film. It's a short film. It's a screenplay, of course, right?
Okay.
It's a short film. Short film is done, bro. So right now we in the marketing promotion part of it. So I got the trailer. I've shared it with a few people. Everybody like it. They say it's doing what it needs to do. So I would say the next week I'm dropping a trailer. And just more information about what I'll be doing screenings because I want to put it in some film festivals. So I can't show it publicly yet until I get it locked in with the film festival. But I do plan on doing a screening, and it's a possibility. Help, I might while we in DC, man, I might be able to share it with the family. So,
yo, I'm telling you,
talk about it.
I'm gonna tell you. Make sure y'all get there Thursday. Y'all got an echo. Check. Make sure y'all get there Thursday, man. We got a VIP event on Thursday. That's dope. And it has a little bit of a free flow to it. So if Shaw put that together, we could definitely incorporate that. You know what I'm saying? So flying in Friday and then trying to rush to the event, that's not the most comfortable way to do it. You get there Thursday, you settle in, get your room and all that. You can move around the city and shit like that. I'll give you some places to go just in case we can't hit them spots. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's gonna be dope, man. Make sure Impress, please drop Shaw Instagram so we could be the first few that's following him before he blow up. Feel me? Maybe he remembers. Bub, what's popping?
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Hey, yo, when you coming for the king, you best not miss. Skid it.
Shit like that. Shit like that. I gotta be in that film, baby. I gotta be in that film, baby.
That was your audition?
I need here.
Hold on. Shaw, you entertaining that?
Yo, I gotta rep.
Hey, man, it's in the room for everybody.
He wasn't all that. He wasn't all that. Like,
I mean, my guy, man. My guy was laying shit down. Everybody was scared of Omar. Let's get it.
Yeah, he was a brother fucker too, though. But we ain't gonna talk about that.
Everybody was scared of Omar. Let's get it.
For 2 reasons.
For 2 reasons. DirectionCYOP.com, man. You seen that? You heard that? Go make a purchase, man. Shit is fire. Everybody getting their summer fits together. Richbully.shop, DirectionCYOP.com, BABG with the spring tee lined up, man. Let's do it, man. Jay Lynn, what's good?
Shit like that. Shit like that.
Perfect. What's up?
What's popping? How you, man? How them white folks treating you at that job, man? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Or how is it? How is it like? Do they ever whisper like nigga or anything like that? Or they be good? They be nice?
No, it's a bunch of college bros and tech finance guys. So
what they do? Like bust beer can? Like they think they stone cold?
They talk about college sports and stocks all day.
Or what sports? Like lacrosse?
No, like football, basketball.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Shit like that. Shit like that.
Might be all right then. Okay. Salute. The general in the building. What's popping?
Perfect.
What's good?
Your mic loud as shit.
Oh, let me turn this shit down. My bad. We good?
You showing off?
No, not at all. The last thing I want to do in this space, you know what I'm saying? I'm known as the male feminist. Don't need any more enemies.
Man, you male feminist?
Apparently.
Man, that's all right. You'll live through it. Yo, man. Speaking of living through it, man. You've been dropping some heat, man. What platform can they find the tunes on? All platforms, isn't it?
Yeah, all of them. So that's Spotify, Apple Play, Apple Music, and it's Cheeky Banner. So like it's the only, I'm the only one that pop up. The name.
Yeah, we can't miss it. You can't miss it. Empress, do me a favor. I think Empress got a real phone. Go to Apple Music, get the stream, share it in the chat, man. I've been streaming. I did a little set. When I do that, Sherelle, was that like 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? Was that a night or something? I forget. But follow Cheek on Instagram so you can stay up. I like the one you did. You like prefaced it, and then I think you were doing producing at that point. That was like one of those first ones you did. That was fine. It was intriguing to me because I DJ, but it's adjacent, but we don't get into all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that shit is fire. You know what I'm saying? For sure. So let's get it, man. It take me so long to get through the intro because everybody up here fucking grinding, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You didn't say nothing about me.
Oh, find Sherelle on Tuesday
No, when
on
I wear makeup, you don't never complimented. Today you told me my makeup looked nice. I ain't got no makeup on. I didn't start over for me.
That's a compliment if I thought you had makeup on and you didn't.
No, it's not. Start over.
Yeah,
That means my
take
makeup be bad. It's
Take what you can get. Or you also got a cavity in the back. I ain't mentioned that.
You got 16 cavities in your mouth, boy. You better chill, boy.
Look at Chuck. Chuck said that shit lame, right, Chuck?
Chuck don't want to be with you.
Yeah.
You ready to go?
Let's get it, man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Marcus with the $5 says, what's good, brother Hamp? And some of the good people on the panel. And let's have a good show tonight. May the Most High bless us all. Oh, and y'all. Indeed. Everybody, man. You heard? Lee was popping with the $2. Daily in the building with the $2 says, let's get the show popping. Indeed.
Shit like that.
Get your tickets to DC. It's going to be amazing, bro. Hakeem with the $5 says, Mr. Fantastic, be chill tonight because I've been noticing you've been coming after my title for the biggest hater, and I cannot have that. Damn. What you thinking of? It's fantastic.
Yeah, he late. I'm the BABG of haters, my nigga. So you late on that one, brother.
Lee with the $2. Peace to the God. Salute Hamp. Salute my G. Good to see you, man. Ezekiel in the building. Salute to Ezekiel Ben Israel in the building who gifted one. This might be risky membership, man. Whoever got blessed with it, salute to you. Please maintain it. Miss Val in the building. Salute. Miss Val with the 20 ball says, hello, everyone. What's up, Miss Val? Make sure y'all say what's up to Miss Val in the chat. Salute to Miss Val for the first 20 ball of the day. Didn't fit. I've been for 9 months.
Shit like that.
Yeah, man.
Shit like that. Shit like
I'm
that.
blessed, man. I'm blessed, man, to have these people that are gracious enough to join. Perfect. And we continue to build together, man. Have a great conversation without any malice. That's the key. It could get hot, feel me? But we should all leave with the same disposition in which we came. I mean, Aaron with the $2 says, all tonight super chats is going to Big Chug. Big Chug, what's your name? Hampton. This nigga, you hang around your mom too much, playboy. Uncut was popping. Been a member for 13 months. Salute. Perfect. Let's get it, man. I think we good. Ezekiel is right with the $10. Says Chug ice cream fun. Okay, Chug, you got some ice cream on the way, baby. Salute to the ox, man. Aaron with the $2 says just because Chug took all the candy for himself. Oh yeah, did y'all see that video? I don't know if y'all saw that video. Yo, man, you was wilding. You hurt? Yeah, man. Damn. So
is that innate?
That's a fact, though. So how y'all want to do it, man? So I have questions, or should we recap it to understand where this conversation even came from in the first place? It was from what I gathered, it was Relly, the General, Mr. Fantastic, and CJ. From what I gathered. But I didn't even have a chance to go back and watch it. I was out with the guys today. So let's recap. Okay, Marcus says recap it.
Recap it. Word.
Go ahead. And I got some questions. Hopefully the questions align with the recap. You know what I mean? But go ahead, Mr. Fantastic. What you think, man? What was the so when I got back, they say they was whooping your ass.
Well, no, we know that didn't happen, even though it was two of them. I told you I've been jumped in every fight I had since I've been a grown ass man. But anyway,
talk your shit.
So nah, man. Shout out to Cheeky. Again, always brings great points. But we were talking about men innately being protectors. That was the premise. I forgot how we got there. Maybe Cheek could refresh it. But I think it was in the reasoning of just the importance of women. So my argument was it's a part of the reason why that it's a purpose for women. And as y'all said earlier, the advancement of society, men protect not only like physically, but through making things easier. So that was my point.
Okay. Cheek.
Yeah, I think the point that I was making is provision and protection is not innate to men, but it's socialized to men. Men aren't innately providing and protecting for things that don't benefit them outside of themselves. Like, it just doesn't make sense to do. So if they are providing some level of protection or providing anything for it, it's because it benefits them to a degree. That's mainly my stance. So we can use, of course, there's always going to be outliers, but as we know, outliers do not represent the whole. So provision and protection is a socialized idea. It's something that we made up for men to do, not something that I think we innately do.
Damn, man, that is a fucking that premise, boy. Cheek. That is a so. I agree with outliers. I think outliers actually prove the norm, right? They do. Like, people try to use outliers to disprove. Outliers literally prove what the normal is because they're almost on the extreme end, right? They stick out so far that you're like, okay, of course you're an outlier because the norm overwhelmingly is X. So yeah, I agree that the outliers won't disprove anything. August, I seen your face frown up.
I have that as a qualifying question, just to make sure I understand where you're coming from.
Mhm.
Are men in this instance, you're separating men from women when they just do things for themselves when you say that? Like,
Can you repeat that? Yeah.
Would you qualify women being in men's interests when they do things for themselves when you say that? You say that men
the women, the women that are involved with that man, he's providing and protecting because of.
So I'm asking as a general, as an overall consensus of men, right? Are men doing things for women because women are part of their interests, as far as the overall consensus of men, like a general sense of men?
I would say yes. Most men are doing things with women in mind because
they're part of their interests.
Yes.
So wouldn't that say innately that they're protecting and providing because women are in their interests?
You can say that it's providing and protecting, but it goes back to the point that it's not innate. It's a benefit to it, right? Innate meaning that it's natural. All right. So maybe we should look up the word innate, so we can have a basis.
Okay. I got a question. Do you think that men?
Before we get to the question, because you need to figure out what this word means.
No, I got you. I just want to ask this real quick. Do you think that men innately do things in their own benefit?
Innately do things
in their own benefit. Do you think that that's innate to men to just do things in their own benefit?
No, I don't think that's innate to men. I think that's I think that's human behavior.
Human.
That's
so
not even.
Is it innate to humans to do things in their own benefit? So and men
are
part of human, right?
Okay, so right. So are we saying women wait, hold on. Are women providers and protectors too?
No, I didn't say that. I'm
asking you a question.
What do you mean by that though? Like,
like
in the same instance as men? No.
Hold on. I didn't say. Wait. Hold on. We didn't say at the same. Are women providers and protectors? Yes or no?
That depends on how you define protection.
I'm giving you two options. Are women providers? Yes or no?
I'll qualify it in the same instance as men. No.
I didn't say all of that. Are women's provider and protectors? Yes
I'm going to give you a qualifier though, because it's not just a yes or no question.
Why don't you give the wait? Hold on. Why don't you give the qualifier after answering yes or no?
Because the qualifier has to substantiate the no.
It doesn't.
It has to.
It doesn't have
without that qualifier, it could be a yes.
August, you don't have to. You don't have to qualify before you answer. You can answer and then give your reasoning, but you don't have to give your reasoning before the answer.
Potato. No qualifier because it's not in the same instance as men.
Okay, boom. So if that is the case, why isn't it that if it's innate to humans that women can't be? Why won't you regard women as providers and protectors?
Because it's not in the same instance as men. Women are.
Where do we get? Okay, go ahead.
Women are typically not as strong as a man, and so the need or the ability to be able to protect and provide for someone is inhibited because of that. Like if we just look on a basis level, but hold on, we didn't switch it up. We didn't got away from
it.
We didn't got away from it because I want to understand one thing: are men included in humans?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can say that it's innate in men. We're just gonna stick to men right now. It's innate to men to do things that are in their beneficial interest, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. And then we already said that women are a part of their beneficial interest is for the overall diaspora of men, right?
I would say so. Yeah, I think that's already been agreed to.
Okay, so wouldn't it be innate for men to protect and provide in that instance? Aren't you saying that?
No, because
Okay.
every man,
All right.
because
I tried, dog.
I mean, right, like you can do a general, but every woman isn't worth protecting to every man. If that
But
was the case,
we're talking about in the general senses.
and we're speaking in a general sense too. Most men
Yeah.
don't think every woman is worth protecting.
But in a general sense of men protecting women, most men would protect most women, right?
Most men will protect the women that they know or are familiar with. Most
Okay,
men
great.
are not.
But is it? But answer the question first, and then get your qualified.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, in the general senses, most men will protect most women, right?
No,
Okay, got it. All right.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No. I think that most men will protect. I think most men will protect the women that they are directly connected to, right? And if they do provide some other protection to some other woman, it is because it's not a threat or it doesn't cause them any real risk. Perfect example. If you see a house on fire and none of your family members are in there, are you jumping in that building to save the people in it? If it's women, or are you going to wait to the firefighters or the men who said, I'm willing to do this, to do that?
That's a specialty. So, you know, if it's a fire, it's just you have to have somebody that specializes in that fire. I'm not equipped to do that. So I wouldn't be serving them by jumping in the fire.
Okay,
But
so okay, wait.
Just made
protection comes in,
Hold on. He's trying to. I gotta hear him out. Yeah.
No, I didn't.
I'm trying
But
to hear him.
protection comes in different forms. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to throw my body out and protect you. I can give you protection and just instructing you. Like I can instruct a woman that is not connected to me on how to survive or handle a situation, and she used that. That is a form of protection. So
Okay,
protection
so-
isn't what you. Go ahead.
Okay, great. We're on the same page. Now, are women providers and protectors?
Not in the sense of men. I would say
You see?
no.
Come on, bro.
I would say no.
Here's what you can't do, and here's where this inconsistency is always going to lie. If you're going to say women or men are providers and protectors, and then you qualify protection as not something that you throw your life on the line for, or not something you risk it for, then that means that a woman qualifies for that. Why won't you credit them with that?
Well, the reason why is because a lot of times, especially when it comes to men and instruction, men have the forethought of instruction. So I don't think that women really have the ability to give that type of. I mean, they could give good advice, but a lot of times, good advice usually comes from.
Wait. So go back. When men have what now that women don't have? Go repeat that.
It's usually like it's usually like a forethought. So like men are usually logical in certain situations, and women are typically emotional. And so the way that they
wait. You notice what you said, right?
Yeah.
In certain situations. What about the situation where they're saying?
The only thing that we would have to do is we would have to still man where protection is, because this is going to be a meta conversation until we still man where protection is. So what is your definition of what protection is?
No. There's no need for me to still man protection. You've already done it when you said, when I gave you the example of something very physical and very life-threatening, you said, well, that's not protection. So you already gave a definition based on your own accord. And now I'm saying, based on the definition or the rejection of mine based on a fire, you said that's not protect. That's not the only form of protection. Go ahead.
Yeah, what you're using is you're using a fire as an example, but the fire will be a terrible example because they are firemen. And so just the protection of us organizing firemen to come in and handle these situations is a man's protection if you look at it on a macro level. Now, on a micro level, you're trying to say that, hold on. On a micro level, you're trying to say that the man who doesn't jump in the fire because women are in the fire isn't given protection is ridiculous, because we already understand that there are firemen there. And sometimes protection from men comes in the form of instruction. That's what I'm saying. Now, men would jump in the fire. There are men that would jump in the fire to try and protect women.
See, wait.
But those are not regular. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
so
August, you're proving the point. Those men are not regular. Those men are not the norm. Those men are the exception to the norm, which means that it's not innate. If it was innate, then all of us would display this thing. We'd all be superheroes. Hold on, let me finish. If it was innate for us to provide and protect every time we saw some sense of injustice, some wrongdoing, something incorrect, some life-threatening situation, we would put ourselves in a position, whether good or bad, because it's innate.
whether good or bad.
We
Okay,
are
go
doing that. I'm about to explain it to you now because we do it so goddamn well that you don't even see it, right? We as man created civilization. And so we put these parameters in line for us to be able to provide those skills whenever it's needed. That doesn't mean that we have to necessarily jump in a fire every time, but the fact that we have organized a fire department is the protection. That's men protecting women. That's men protecting civilization. Same thing with a cop. We've organized a certain amount of people to be able to handle that. That's what men do. We create an organization that that is civilized, and we do it so goddamn well that it's oblivious to most people. It's almost like men don't do this. Who's gonna come to save you in the fire? It's usually gonna be a man.
We had this part of the debate already, right?
Oh, okay.
Considering the fact that those are social programs, which is going to my point, that it's socialized and it's for the benefit of society, is the reason why these things are done. If it's going to benefit me in some way, I'm willing to do it. For example, Mr. Fantastic brought up the point that I joined the military. I didn't join the military because I thought innately in me, I just have to provide and protect for this country. That's not what I thought. I thought, well, what are the benefits of me doing this thing? And if I continue to do this thing, will it outweigh the potential risk? Absolutely.
Let me interject after you're done.
Let's do this too. Let's do this because I think Mr. Oh, excuse me, Sean. Question: Who do you agree with?
Absolutely with Cheeky.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So after Miss Fantastic goes, and you could jump in. So far, put a 1 in the chat if you think August had a stronger point or Cheek so far. 2 for Cheek, 1 for August. I'm just trying to see where the chat stands as of so far. Go ahead, Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, so just real quick. So that's what I'm saying. I think August kind of went down the same road I went to, and that's what I was saying. The innovation that men do, it doesn't always have to be physical. And as you said, even with the examples of all three of us, for a matter of fact, the military service, you still know there's a risk. So there's some risk you just refuse to take, no matter the benefit. And what we say as men is, okay, if there's danger involved or whatever, if and it involves me protecting people, I'm willing to do it because I'm a man. I have, again, the testosterone in you, your build, your thing. Men have aggression for a reason. So you're prepared in a lot of situations to handle things. And to your point, even though it's not a lot of men that do it every day, there are, like August said, it doesn't get reported when random man jumps into a woman and stops her from getting her ass beat unless, somebody gets deleted. You feel me? So there's still men every day, not in mass, but single individuals, because of your innate fucking ideology to protect, your urge to protect as a man, that step into situations, right? Even outside of ourselves. Like it's been in HAMP talked about this. We did a domestic violence show. There are men that lose their lives for defending, complete total stranger women from domestic violence situations. That's what I'm saying. So women, you don't hear women doing that.
You don't hear women stepping in to stop something from happening?
Yeah, from like a domestic violence thing between a man and a woman, a fight between a man and a woman where she's trying to, no, women don't do that. That's something that men do.
That's not necessarily true, because they did what's the Mexican guy who used to go, what would you do? It was a scenario based thing.
The NBC show.
Yeah, so women would actually step in as well, right? People,
for kids, I know. Was it kids or was it?
Sean, get in there.
It was for the men and the women, but Sean, go ahead, because it was they were arguing in the park publicly. The man was yelling at her, and then they reversed it. And when the woman was yelling at him, nobody really did anything. They kind of laughed it off. But when it flipped, men and women both intervened. So I think that's a little different. Go ahead, Sean.
August, I understand what you were saying, but protection is not innate. It's a choice. It's a decision. There are only a handful of superheroes because they're super. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones that stand out. It doesn't come natural. If I see most of the fights I've seen in my life, and same with most of us, we not breaking that shit up. We see some YNs fighting, bro. We not breaking that shit up. Because you know why? They like to shoot at the end of their fights. Not breaking that shit up. And innate means you're just going, you know what I'm saying? Your reflex, you're just going to run in there. Hey, look, y'all break this shit up. We make a value judgment. We make a safety judgment because one thing that is innate is survival. Survival says don't get in the middle of these YNs because they got guns with lots of clips and shit, lots of bullets. You know what I'm saying? So survival above anything that was just discussed is innate in all of us. Would you agree?
I understand where you're coming from, but the thing is that innate doesn't show up in the way that y'all look at it. You know what I'm saying? Like innate has evolved with man. So the innate protection comes in the fact that we have civilized the world enough to have parameters so that we can mitigate as much risk to ourselves, but still provide the same protection. And that comes in the form of like the police, you know, calling the police, or like for a fire, a fire company or a fireman, right?
Go ahead.
Originating in mind. Okay, I was just looking at it. A lot of times we kind of lose track of what that protection looks like, and you perceive it as you just jumping in the fire, and that is not what it is. So a lot of time, I guess I can kind of land it right there, but a lot of times people get confused what that means. We're still as men providing protection. It just shows up differently for modern times because we know how to mitigate risk as much as humanly possible for ourselves and still provide that same protection.
But what you're discussing is the expression of something that we were socialized to believe. We were socialized to believe that we are protectors, quote unquote. But one of you guys said it earlier. There's a limit to that protection. Once again, let's take the younger version of Fantastic and Bub. When they were shorties, we see them fighting. Hey man, look, y'all tussle a little bit, break it up. As they got older and bigger, now there's danger attached to me getting in the middle of that situation once again. And so now I have to make once again that value judgment. These same YNs, they got to fight it out. They got to fight it out. Anybody jump in, you might get punched in your shit too. So once again, that becomes a value judgment. So what we have what's innate is like our desire for connection, our desire to be part of a pack, to build a community, love and things like that. That's innate. And so love being innate would make me run into that building that Shiki was talking about. If someone I love was in there, if that in that moment, that would supersede my desire for survival. If my child, God forbid, was in that situation, I'm running in there, not thinking about it. No, fuck the fireman. I'm running in that bitch. I am the fireman, and I'm willing to lay my life down because of my love for her. But other than that, my survival will supersede all that.
Now the thing is that if it wasn't, this is the last thing I wanted to say, but my when he had switched the screens, it threw me off. If men's protection wasn't innate and didn't show up in the way that I was describing to you a little earlier, then it wouldn't be illegal to beat the hell out of women. When she opened up her mouth and say something you don't like and you just bat the shit out of her, there shouldn't be no form of protection for her to run to, or no man she can call, no police force, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? It will overwhelmingly be that type of inner dynamic between men and women if men overwhelmingly didn't care about their women.
Wait, hold on. What about the times? What about the times where it wasn't illegal and it was legal to beat your wife? Now, doesn't that prove that it's not innate and we have to make laws?
No, that doesn't. That actually proves the opposite. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like that we don't want.
Wait, August, listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
If it was innate for a man to protect his woman, why is he beating her?
Because even though he beat her, doesn't mean he's killing her. That's the way that he. wait. She ain't dead. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm about to explain it to you. So
let me ask y'all a clarifying question, right? Because do you guys ever like spank your kids or anything? No. Do you think it's wrong for people to spank their kids?
I do.
No.
And I'm just
I don't think it's wrong for you to spank a child. Absolutely not.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to understand it. So, August, are you saying that was a form of like for instance, you know, the rule of thumb was an actual thing, right?
Yeah, you couldn't beat your wife with a stick longer than the width of your thumb. Exactly.
Yeah. So, you saying like if he were to hit her, You're saying there's no grounds for it. We understand that, right?
You would qualify that as
in this day and
protection.
age. But how can and should you correct the person?
You can correct them with conversation, but in that time period that we're talking about, that man he qualified.
See, and that's the thing. That's the thing, right? I just want to make sure they understand because people stop listening, right?
I know.
When you say something that they deem salacious, they automatically put it in the wrong box, right?
Right. Yeah, I know.
Saying at this time, 60, 80 years ago, when the rule of thumb was actually the law, right? What was that law there for? Why was it okay? Was it for correction? Which, if it's correction, would that be protection? He's talking about in context of when that law was a thing.
And so what he's doing is he's trying to take it out of context.
I just don't want nobody to misframe like he's saying.
I know.
I'm not trying to take it out of context.
Hold on, let me finish.
I'm relaying the context because he's having this conversation.
I appreciate it. I know that's why he started laughing, because he's trying to move it out of context. In context, we're talking about that time frame. And when I said that he's not killing her, I'm saying because in his mind, he's providing protection through that form of instruction, because that's what was going on back then.
Okay, so
now
let me
hold on a second. Now we have evolved past that, and because of our innate want and desire to protect our women, we have established laws, we have established parameters, and as a group, as a male group, because we run society, the way that men decide things go is how it's gonna go, and we decided as a group that it is no longer viable for you to beat your wife, and if you do, we will kick your door in and drag your ass to fucking jail. That's our innate protection for women.
Okay, so my question is, provision and protection has changed over the years. Is basically what you're saying. It's evolved so much. It's basically what you're saying is that there's an evolution between.
Our thinking evolve. Everything evolves. Evolution is
constant. So now I got it.
now.
Okay, great. I understand that. So now that we're getting to this point where you're saying everything's evolved, if we're saying that provision and protection is innate, that men are willing to do it for not their own interest, but just because that's just in them to do, why do we see so many things as far as injustices goes? Why do you think we have capitalism and billionaires? If that's the purpose, if that's what's innate into men and innate for somebody to do, why don't they help provide or protect in that way? Why don't they?
No, hold on. Well, he's not conflating.
I'm not conflating.
He's not conflating. It's not a conflation. It's a good argument, but no, Cheek, that billionaires are providers. That those people make jobs. So if you're making jobs in order for the people to be able to
the tie-in, the part that I keep saying is without the benefit, right? That's the part. Of course, we're going to provide and protect as long as there's a benefit attached. But if there's no benefit attached,
but they don't have to.
Yes, they do. That's those humans that are doing that job. They're not providing them with jobs just out of goodwill. They're providing them with jobs because somebody has to scrape the shit off the floor for me to keep this building running. So it's literally just a byproduct of in order to make this. So it's the cost of doing business. The cost of doing business is some fucking humans have to do it, and I have to pay them, and I'm going to pay them the least amount possible to do that job.
Yeah, but still, you can't. So you can't penalize something for just the law of nature. You have to give something to get something. That's across the board. You cannot pull. Nothing comes from nothing, right? So if a man provides and he doesn't, which again he don't have to, a billionaire he's a billionaire. He's set for life. Elon Musk is either the richest or the second richest man in the world, bro. If he can stop doing everything today, he's set for life. You don't have to do shit.
Okay? You think Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves out of goodwill?
Well, no, I know. As a matter of fact, I know he don't. That's how Liberia came about.
It's the same premise, right? So
no,
you
it's
can do something that seems beneficial or like a good ad.
No. So Sean, it's two sides. It was for the greater good of the country. It wasn't just for the slaves, but the slaves benefited also. But it's for if that didn't happen, we wouldn't have the American. We won't be talking on this panel today.
I'm saying he didn't do it out of goodwill. It wasn't.
Wait. Let's just. I think a simpler question would be: do you think that those people, if they could avoid paying taxes, that they would?
Everyone would.
Why? Okay, if everyone would avoid it, why?
Because
taxes. Go ahead.
People don't like paying. Cheeky, everybody wants something for free if you can get it for free.
No. People don't go back to the people don't like paying.
Cheeky killing shit, bro. Cheeky killing shit.
Well, hold on. Say it again. So people don't want it for free?
No. Let's just go. Why would people not want to pay taxes? Why don't people want to pay taxes?
Because people don't understand most people don't understand how economies and governments work and how you have to pay for something. You have to pay into something in order for things to work. But the root cause is if I can get it for free, I'm going to get it for free. That's everything.
Why?
It's human nature, as we said earlier. It goes back to human nature. I think that's where the conflation is happening.
No, I think
that's where some conflation is happening. We're trying to take away and make things negative that are just things that humans do regardless, taken away from gender. Now we get to the innate part and we're just talking about the gender aspect of it. That's one thing. Then you can't turn around and say, oh, well, motherfuckers want some shit for free because it benefits them. Yes, everybody wants a benefit. Everybody, you as a human being, Cheeky, if a motherfucker offers you $1 million absolute nothing, you're not gonna take it.
So say that again. No, I would take the money for sure.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. That's almost like 1,000% of people.
So we're on agreement, right? This is where we are agreeing. We're agreeing that human beings, if the benefit is without any risk, will take it.
Yes.
The same thing applies when it comes to risk, when it comes to provision and protection. If there's too much risk involved, men are not going to do it because it doesn't make any logical sense. Here's the issue that we're having. We're saying one thing is innate and another thing is innate, but we know if there's a conflict between the two, one of those things stop and are only happening for a particular group of people that would include himself and to benefit himself only.
No, and what I'm saying is, and you're right, we even created, I'm pretty sure y'all got ORM is what we called it. I think you know about ORM, right? Operational risk management.
Yes, yeah, for sure. Okay.
So RM, right? So we even created systems to measure the risk. What I'm saying is, even though it dwindles, even though it may dwindle, right? There's still going to be 99% more men that are going to take the risk than women. Is what I'm saying.
But this isn't this isn't about comparing men to women. It's about the innateness. It's about the innateness of provision and protection.
Yeah, but that's what. So now we're arguing levels of courage, right? So
no.
That is that's the argument being made.
No, but look at it like this, right?
Well, I'm trying to understand them, but go ahead, Sean.
So listen to what he's saying. So men do most of the protection. There are some men that are unwilling to do it, even in the case where Sean gave, right?
You just use some, right? So are most men protectors or not?
Yes.
Where? Okay, so let's explore that. Do you think that most men be having fights as adults?
No.
Hold on. One second. No. I want to know this for sure. Most men, hold on. Most men in the world, do they go most of their lives without a fight as adults?
Yes.
Literally most men, right? Okay, cool. Is that for what reason? Is that just because they just regular people, right?
Well, no. I think we're pigeonholing protection again. Like I said, protection is more than physical.
But no, what I'm trying to say is most men wouldn't hurt a fly. They wouldn't dare. You know what they're going to do? They're going to dial 911 or whatever the equivalent is in their country.
That's protection.
No,
that's protection.
That's protection. Because
he can do nothing. He can do nothing.
No.
He can do absolutely nothing.
No, that's not protection.
Ass beat
and walk away. Yeah, fuck her.
If I'm getting fucked up and y'all niggas just call the police, I'm gonna be stumped. My head is gonna be stumped into the concrete by the time the police get there. That's not protection.
Sean.
That's not protection.
Before we even go there, let's just use
with them things blazing.
Or the police come in town.
Let's just use the common. If protection is that simple and that easy, why is it that we're having a trial for a man who is on video beating a woman in a hotel room with thousands of viewers? Why did no one call the cops that day? Why was there no form of protection for that individual? What was it that stopped them from protecting her?
Money.
But, this is anecdotal, bro.
There's also protection when women call the police.
Wait, hold on. We need to wait. We need to. I'm trying to hear them. So Fantastic said money and August said something different.
I said that this is anecdotal, but you can go ahead, Fantastic. That's all I'm saying.
Wait. Pause. Go back to the definition of innate, please.
Innate does not.
Go back to the
It
Go
don't.
back
It
to the
doesn't.
definition of innate.
Some
Yeah,
men don't want to
Cheeky,
protect
we're
women.
saying, Cheeky.
Wait,
it's still-
then wait. Then it's not innate.
Well, no. Well, hold, Cheeky. Wait.
If some people, hold on. If it's in, let me ask y'all this: is it in a human's will to survive and live to see the next day?
Yes.
Some humans don't want to have the will. Don't have the will to survive and see the next day.
And what do they do when they when? And what? Well, hold on. No, not
well, let me ask you a question though. What is a qualifier? Is it an all or nothing in terms of innate, or does it have to be majority or minority?
I would
So
say
if there's,
I would say it's all.
well, I know,
That's
but
not-
then if you're saying the will to live, but people, hold on, but you're saying will to live, but we know people kill themselves, but we know that's the minority of people. So if they don't have the will to live, those people, do they then nullify the will to live being innate? Those few people?
We have to look into who did it and what was the condition.
They killed themselves.
If they have a mental illness, that's different. That means something's structurally wrong.
If your aunt had a dick, she'd be your uncle. We got people.
Okay, fine.
We have people. We have people that kill themselves, right? You drill into it, talking about did they have a mental?
Fine. Okay, sure. I get what you're saying. Got you. Go ahead.
They have the
majority.
will to not
we'll
live,
say majority.
right?
We'll say majority. Fine. Concede on that. Fine. I don't have no problem conceding on that. Now we have to get to the point where we have to get to the point where if it's not beneficial or it's too much of a risk, why is it that we stop? If it's innate, if it's naturally in us to provide and protect, why are there so many factors that will cause a man not to provide and not to protect?
Because hold on, I got you. So because like you said,
All right, after y'all go, I want to get the other people into. All right.
So Cheeky, that's what I said. A part of the survival and the biological imperative, right? So you got survival, procreate, and then you get into the other things, the social aspects of it and all different things. What I'm saying is you still have other factors that override shit, Cheeky. If you're going to lose your life, like for the example Sean gave, I'm not going to let my innate provision or my innate protection instincts take over my survival instincts, bro. We still at that is king. And I think you rightfully pointed that out the other day. It's not bullshit.
It's bullshit. Fantastic. If your kids are in that situation, nigga, are you running in that bitch or are you calling 911?
You say what?
Bro, you can
If
have
your
two
kids are in the
innate-
jam, hold on. I'm talking to him. If your kids in a jam, God forbid, are you running up in that bitch? Or are you calling 911?
That's the cheekiest point. That's my
ask the question. Are you running up in there taking care of it? Or are you calling 911?
Without a doubt.
So look, if you treat it differently when the people are not connected to you, that means it's not innate. You don't have to Cheeky's point, you don't have a benefit or a connection to those other people, so you just gonna call 911 and say,
hold on, but Cheeky,
they could come 2 hours. But 2 hours later. That's not protection.
Sean, I have done this to where I've seen somebody's child that I didn't know that was in danger, and I got the child, brother. It's a child. So even though my child
in every situation, then, why wouldn't you do that in every situation if it's innate?
Because everybody doesn't have the same level of worth to me. You're a grown ass man.
Here's
Sean,
all right. Well, hold on, Mr. Nay. Here's the one thing that seems it's odd to me. Shaw, let me get your understanding on this, right? We saying innate. It sounds like if for something to be innate, it throws all caution and logic to the wind. If it does not do that, then it's being disqualified as being innate. And that's the part that I'm hearing that I need to understand. What's your thought on that? Not to say you have to speak directly and only to that, but that's what I'm hearing. So if he don't go ahead and potentially throw his life away running that burning building, whenever he sees a woman or children in there, then it can't be a natural reaction, an instinctual need or want.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that. And as I was kind of listening to everybody, I think I'm going a totally different way with it, because I think, Hemp, you asked the question. You said, are y'all trying to assess majority and minority, or are y'all trying to address all or nothing? And it's actually a blend. Like nature versus, it's not even a versus. It's actually a blend. I mean, because nature, which is like your genes and your DNA, do give you a blueprint on how to exist as a human based on those things. but then your nature can either nourish that or it can make you deviate from it because your nurtures your environment. So I think now they call it like the gene environment interaction. That's really how people exist now. Like that's kind of the modern way to look at nature versus nurture. So I'm under the guys that it's actually a blend of the two. You don't have one that carries you from life to death. It's kind of like you start with your nature, which I said is your genetics, your genes. And I don't agree, like I kind of what you asked me help about, like what innate means. Because protection can be calling 911. That actually is a form of protection. It might not be the ultimate, most manly, masculine form of protection, which is like stepping in front of the bullet and saying no, and like it in the movies, but calling the police to ensure that something changes for the positive is a form of protection. So I just think for me, as I'm listening to y'all kind of go back and forth, I'm agreeing with both of y'all, I guess, but I think it's a blend of the two. And I don't know if y'all disagree with that, but the conversation kind of started, with like, y'all were kind of arguing amongst each other. So I'm not sure how y'all feel about it being a blend.
No, I think I agree with it being a blend, right? That would more so go toward my thought behind it. This idea that men are innately provider and protectors, I don't think is the case, because there's too many men who have seen or have not intervened into things, whether it be calling the police. We have a whole no snitching clause in the Black community. How does that exist? If it's in, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, so we can't say it's innate to men. We can say that people have that.
There's a reply to that.
Okay, go ahead.
Niggas snitch all the time.
Right.
First 48 been on for 20 years. Niggas been snitching. All your favorite gangsters have snitched. The motherfuckers just be talking.
Okay.
So if that's a disqualification, not snitching, disqualification for being innate. Niggas is telling like a motherfucker. Niggas is in jumping jack mode, ready to tell. You heard?
It's not a disqualifier. It's only proving. It's only proving that it's only proving we have rules for things, but we will do what is ever in our best interest. A snitch is somebody who didn't protect the people who he was actively involved with criminals. Why didn't he protect them? Because go ahead. Somebody say something.
I just got a question for you. Do you think like the advancements in civilization have kind of in some ways moved us from our like primal selves? So when you say that, like it's not innate, when you say it's not innate for men to be provided or protect, that's why I said I kind of disagree with that, because the DNA and genetics that's the blueprint for us to be that way. And then the environment either makes us more of that or it deviates us from that. So we kind of do it differently. But the DNA and the genes that are passed down through generations
I have a question.
Are to protect and provide.
So, Sean, I actually have a question in the repertoire of questions that actually speaks to that. Epigenetics and things of that nature. So I have several questions. The one that's been scrolling here, right? Bub, Jalen, this question, right? Because y'all heard what they've been discussing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So things are innate, right? See, this is what I hear being pitted against to make things not innate, is if another innate characteristic supersedes the other one. So if the will to survive is innate, right? But protection is innate, and that juncture, those things intersect, and the will to survive supersedes the will to protect, does that automatically disqualify the will to protect being innate? See, that's what gives me cause for pause. It makes sense though. You see how I'm like chopping it up, because it's innate, but if this one is more important than this one, right, I'm going to do that one. It doesn't mean that the other thing is disqualified. That's what I'm kind of, you know what I mean, chopping in my head. Go ahead.
So I haven't really heard like strong evidence that being a protector is innate in men. I'm gonna be honest. Even the hormonal influence thing, testosterone is directly linked to you being dominant and like aggressive. It says nothing about protection. So when we talk about it being innate, I would need proof that there's a direct link biologically in men that something is triggered in you to be protective. If not, then I don't agree.
So if question, right? Just because of what you named, the person who is more likely to be a protector or have characteristics, is that person going to be dominant and aggressive, to be the protector in the simplest form that has been, because it's kind of been being talked about, like if you don't run in that building, right? So now when you say dominant and aggressive, the person who runs through a wall or runs through a building, is he more likely to have the two traits that you just named that testosterone boasts?
No, but he was more likely socially conditioned to be a protector.
Okay, so you're saying him being dominant and aggressive because of testosterone has nothing to do with it.
Right. It has more so to do with your social conditioning, because you can be an aggressive man and not want to protect anything unless it benefits you.
So, okay. All right, but you're saying the person who does the protecting, he doesn't have dominance and aggressive traits.
He could coincidentally have the
what's more likely? You see what I'm saying?
What's more likely? I mean, like I said, there's nothing more likely because there's no direct link.
The dominance and aggressive as a protector? You're saying there's no link to that? I'm
talking about testosterone to protectiveness.
But you're saying dominant and aggressive. So what else is linked to testosterone? Because I don't see a meek person jumping out there to protect people. I don't see it.
And that's where you would hear or see meek men, even in dire times, would do what they need to do to protect and provide however they need. So again, so this idea
that's your premise, right? Your premise is people protect what's theirs. Right. We're not talking about them. We're talking about the premise of if you don't run into a building for people you don't know. Right. So that's the premise that I'm trying to understand. So if somebody's dominant and aggressive, and there's other things that go with testosterone, those people are more likely to go out on a limb for people that they don't know because of the personality type.
That's the issue. Personality isn't linked to testosterone.
Not personality, but you're saying chemical influence.
And even if that's the case, just because you have more testosterone and more aggression does not mean that you'll be more driven toward being helpful or protective.
You're more likely to take a risk,
right? Because saving
danger and risk, though. So Jalen just said it. So you're more likely to take on danger and risk because of testosterone,
right? But just because again, taking on more danger and risk doesn't mean taking it on for the greater good of somebody else or people outside of yourself. That's the problem.
No, you're right. You're right. I just want to make sure Bub get his 2 cents. You're not wrong, Cheeky. But to say that those things aren't linked to protection is also acknowledging one side but not acknowledging the other. Because what you're saying is those aren't. But then you can't also say that they're not. You see? So maybe we just don't know.
So you're saying.
Because you're saying they're not. You're saying they're not linked to, right? Being
just because somebody has high testosterone aggression doesn't mean that they're linked to saving more lives, right?
But I think the thing is, right, and to emphatically say that those things don't contribute to the people who are the heroes is disingenuous.
And what I'm saying is, if we're going off of the premise that's already been laid, which is protection goes beyond aggression and physicality, which we already agreed to and we already said is evolved. Who needs to be that?
Let me guess. Can I ask a question real quick?
I just want to ask, is it a question or you got context before the question?
No, I just have a question. Just one question.
All right. Look, Bub,
just to get an understanding of what he's
see
saying.
if you can answer and then you can expound on what Jalen and I were kind of conversing about.
No, I'm gonna let Bub go because Bub ain't say much.
Yeah, I ain't say you, nigga. I said Bub.
I just have a question. Who is more likely to protect in a more physical way? A man that has high testosterone or a man that has low testosterone? That's just the question I want to ask.
How the fuck we know a man's testosterone level?
Thank you.
Bub. I'm about to drop y'all in the back. Bub.
You can't be putting the freshmen on the panel with Cheeky,
Go ahead, Bub. What's the question again, August? Just ask it.
Who is more likely to go and protect in a more physical way? A man with higher testosterone or a man with lower testosterone? Somebody that's like weak. You can tell what a man with low T look like. He weak. He not assertive. He's scared of everything. That type of nigga. You know what I'm talking about.
Right. Go ahead, Bub.
Yeah.
Who gonna do it? Who gonna do it more? The nigga that's
just to
that's
answer August's question, I would say a male with higher testosterone.
Thank you.
But to get back, I'm more so leaning towards Cheeky's side. Like Cheeky was cooking. He was cooking yesterday. He cooking today. I like the points he's bringing up. Like a lot of this shit is not innate to men. I'm just keeping it a buck, yo. I like the fact that he brought up that tax shit too, because at the end of the day, don't nobody want to pay motherfucking taxes. All right, we don't want to pay no fucking taxes, bro. That's money coming out of our pockets. We don't give a fuck where that shit going at the end of the day. We don't care that it's going to schools. We don't care that it's going to fix fucking roads and shit like that. We know we got to pay them shit so we don't get penalized and go to jail. At the end of the day, we don't want to pay them shits. Let's just keep it a buck. So I like that.
Question.
Yep.
The kids go to school, huh?
Yeah.
What taxes go towards the school?
Well,
a lot of it's property.
Percentage wise.
But what I'm saying is, so if the school, you paying your good hard-earned money, right? Do you hold the schools accountable because you pay your taxes?
Oh, absolutely.
So if you paying taxes, would you pay taxes so that the schools can be better, or would you say fuck taxes at that juncture?
Nah, I would pay the taxes for the schools to be better, but do I want to pay them? Man, hell no.
But
that's innate.
Niggas don't. Hey, guess what firemen don't want to do, bro? The firemen
into a fucking burning building.
But that's what I'm saying. You know how much shit that be popping off that you don't want to do? The shit that you don't want to do, and that's the thing. The instinct will override when you do shit that you got to do for the benefits. Like or not, like is inconsequential. If I want to do it or not, that has nothing to do with it. It's just a matter of instinct.
Yeah, but peep here, like when we saying this whole like innate thing, right?
Yeah.
As a male, as a dominant male figure, like head of household, you paying all the bills and shit like that. You paying all the bills and shit like that because you want to make sure the motherfuckers get paid. Okay, you don't really want to pay the motherfuckers. You want to make sure they get paid. You know what I'm saying? So it's not innate. You don't just grow up and wake up and say, "Oh, yo, I can't wait to pay some fucking bills, yo. I can't wait to have 11 kids so I can take care of all of them."
6.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying, but
yo, you don't lay in bed. You don't lay in bed at night and think to yourself, "Yo, I can't wait for somebody to fucking kick my door and so I could clap, homie." Yo, you not sitting around waiting for no shit like that.
But that's not what innate.
No.
So, here, I got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So, if something is innate, it applies universally, right?
Yes, it's intrinsic to that person.
Right,
So
but when it's
universally,
applied, meaning that if you want to protect people, you're going to protect everyone. There's no selective process.
No, it means that protection, that feeling, that emotion, right? That instinct comes natural. But it doesn't. But it doesn't
means it's biologically.
You're biologically inclined, right? But it doesn't make logic void. See what you guys? That's what you guys are doing the whole time. Like, yeah, you saying I have all this got to take care of, right? But I see random strangers in a burning building. My innate will to protect is supersedes all my logic. See that's unfair.
Most importantly, survival. Most importantly, your own survival.
But it's fantastic. We don't even have to do survive, just logically, right? If I have all these people, like Bub said, who the fuck lay in the bed and say, "Yo, I got 8 mouths to feed." But if these
look at the definition?
Yeah, we looked it up. It was pretty simple, right? It said the intrinsic and etc. Right? It said natural, but it doesn't mean that it voids your logic, though. That's what you guys are presenting, which I think is hard fought.
So it's not so, and maybe I don't know if I don't know. I'm not trying to present it that way. I'm only trying to combat a narrative that is spread by men, especially on the internet, which is that all men are protectors. Men are just innate. This is just who we are. We were born to be superheroes and provide. that is just not the case.
Well, if you're saying
so much backlash from women too, women
not
are
all-
sitting on us because of that. Come
yeah,
on,
but
now.
all is never all, Cheeky. That's what we're saying.
Yeah,
so
we understand
okay.
that.
Wait. Okay. So here we're at the point now. Of course, we're being, the idea of provision and protection is from a very red pill management, blah blah. But now we're being more realistic with it. Okay. Now, how many cowards are there in the world that are men?
Most
cowards. If I just straight up cowards with like afraid, unwilling to do anything of men, I would say
most. Oh my God, Lord!
Wait, we don't know. Hold on, we don't really know. He's thinking. Go ahead.
Wait. Well, so we're saying most men are cowards.
I don't. I'm asking a question. I'm asking a question.
All right, hold on, Cheeky. So he's saying most men are cowards. Sean and Jalen, explain.
Most men.
No, do not flip it. Don't flip it on them. Fantastic was answering. I'm asking a question now. They said most men are cowards. They said yes, most men are cowards.
Explain.
They so
and then we can say, Mr. Fantastic, Shaw, what'd you say? Do you think most men are cowards? Okay, Mr. Fantastic, Shaw. After they explain, y'all explain.
So this is what I was alluding to. Most men would not hurt a fly. We got to get out of thinking that most men only includes black men in America. Literally, because what we're talking about men. We're talking about what's innate in men. That's not just Americans. That's not just black men. That's men. Men include a bunch of Asians. It includes a bunch of white guys. It includes a bunch of fucking cowards. A bunch of motherfuckers that literally cross the street, bro, when they see us coming, and we ain't done nothing. You know what I'm saying? Literally, they're fucking cowards. They wouldn't do a fucking thing. Fantastic. They see you coming, bro. They're shaking in their fucking airwalks. They don't want you to take some from them, including their woman, bro. They're fucking scared. Most men, think about that. Think about the majority of the men in the world are non-black, non-American men that have never had a fucking fight in their lives. It's not even a part of their culture. So it's not even necessarily the fact that they're cowards. They're just normal people because it's more of them than it is us.
Are they cowards?
Coward.
For lack of a better term, yes, they're cowards. They don't want no smoke.
Let me ask a question. If I'm willing to fight, you not willing to fight, you willing to shoot, are you a coward compared to me?
No.
Gotta be.
Not
because
all.
It's physical. It's this. You really got to get
about
it
to break the mic.
that 5 pounds of pressure shit. Anybody could do that shit. But we talking about getting it shaken. Like if you saying you're not willing to get it shaken, and I am, you are more of a coward than me, right? It has to be that way. You can't have it both ways.
Let me ask you this question. So look, Fantastic may be a better person to ask this question to. All my military guys, when y'all go places, those people only got rocks and courage. Are soldiers cowards just because they go in with guns?
No, obviously not.
Exactly. So it's the same premise to me.
No, it's not the same premise. They getting shot. They getting shot back at.
No,
so if it's everybody shooting, it's cool. But if I run down on Sean and Sean said, "Yo, I ain't fight you. I'm gonna blow your top. Pause. I'm gonna park you here. You a bitch ass nigga at that juncture. That's how that works, right?
He's bringing rocks.
I'm just a nigga that don't want to get my head beat in.
Yeah.
Look, to me, coward is running. In that situation, Hep, I get what you're saying, right?
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. I do.
Yeah.
In that situation, to me, a coward, which is most people, are going to run. They're going to get up out of that situation. They ain't shooting shit. They going to get out of that jam. A nigga that's like, oh, nigga, this what you on? Check this out. Hey, back in the old day, nigga. Hey, don't be here when I get back. Don't be here when I get back from that trunk.
You're not gonna. But me back in my head, you wasn't making it to that car, bro.
Hey, but look,
if you walk away from a fight, you're a coward.
All right, so that's my fault because me and Sean was just having the thing, right? So I want to make sure Jalen get to talk too, or say why most men are cowards, and then get the Fantastic and shot, huh?
I know Sherelle ain't talking.
No, Sherelle just hanging out with me. She's just hanging out with me. You seen her on Tuesday. She talked for 4 hours straight. Don't worry about that. Go ahead, Jalen.
Y'all fed August to the gods tonight. Y'all wrong. We're gonna talk about this tonight. Okay?
Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead. Go ahead. I got you, real. Go ahead. You said most men are cowards. Why?
Sean basically said it. Sean said
Go say it
all.
again. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again. Come on. Come on. Come on. You got it. Why do you think men are cowards?
I would say that most of them are not. Oh, Lord, most of them are not really taught how to really be in touch with their masculinity. They're taught how to perform in a masculine way, but not when it comes down to it and they really have to defend themselves and survive. Most of them will bow out. They're not brave enough to do it.
So you saying men they wouldn't protect themselves?
No,
Like
most of them will run.
Hands up! Don't kill me. Not doing that. No.
I'm not saying you shot. Oh my God! I didn't say no name. I said most. So if you're not most, take yourself out of the most.
No, that's not how most works, though, Jay. It's one, two. No, take this walk with me. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you say most, you gotta be including men sitting here right now.
Okay, well, if the shoe fit, men, I'm sorry, shoe fit.
Oh, you just saying most men. Have you seen most men run?
Yeah.
When?
From a fight?
How many fights have you seen?
From their life being put on the line, and they gotta die. I've seen most of them run. What you mean?
Yeah, but Jalen, where have you been? Give us one of these scenarios though. That's what I'm thinking.
Why?
What has happened in this scenario where his life was on the line, so he booked? You saying he didn't have a strap and the other nigga did?
Man, outside of the hood, most men are running if there's a sign of danger.
I know, but I asked you specifically. You seen this? You like, yeah, I seen wild niggas running and all that.
Niggas not running from fights.
I seen a bunch of niggas run.
Jalen,
if there is a man
Antonio?
bigger and badder than you, most of y'all ain't gonna take his ass on.
It's 7 of us up here. How many of us running?
7.
Depending on the situation.
Everybody on YouTube where they draws outside their pants.
Hey,
all y'all super niggas.
Jalen, how many of us running?
I was on 87 bus and then Blackstone's about to move on me, nigga. Gotta get about that jam, nigga.
No. Here's the thing, right? Here's what Jay. This reason why we asked, because I asked, you seen this from most men, and you like, hell yeah. And we just asking for like, what was a time where you seen this?
Yeah. What was the context? What was the situation?
Like I said, if a man is bigger, stronger, he just looks more intimidating, most of y'all gonna run.
Can we get specific on a situation you seen specifically?
Yeah, you said you've been seeing this shit all over the place.
Yeah, one of your situations.
A cop. Anybody who has
Cop got a gun.
So I thought y'all were brave and shit. Y'all gonna take them away.
So that's avoiding being arrested. Jalen. That's not the same thing.
How is it not the same?
You can't fight the cop and win. That's why. There's no situation where I put up my dukes with a
them YNs be still trying, but okay.
No, they don't.
They don't now. They don't be doing it. So they be running. They be running now.
No, but
YNs be running too.
No,
I thought y'all just said they be fighting for their life.
No, Jalen, what it is you have to understand what's happening in these situations, right?
Sure.
When Jake come, you said men are running from bigger and stronger men. Pause. Yeah. Right? I don't know who introduced Jake. I think Sean said cop a plea. You thought he said cop. He's saying niggas cop a plea like when somebody run down on them, like a man to man shit.
Yeah, niggas get punked every day, B.
No, I know. I'm just saying that's what you were saying. I think she thought you said cop. That's all. Yeah. So Jalen, but you say you see niggas running all like Scooby Doo in this motherfucker. I mean, we just trying to understand like where was you seeing this at? Because then you said it's outside the hood too. Are you saying that's your notion?
No, that's what I've seen.
That's what I'm saying. Like what happened? Where you at and all that? Uh-huh.
Most men ain't fighting. They gonna find any reason not to fight.
Can you tell us some stories?
Like, I
Like,
don't
maybe
get
one?
how else I need to say it. Why do you need a story? It's very
Like,
it's
'cause
very
it-
direct what I'm saying.
Well,
I don't
because
need
it
why
gives
there's-
it.
Okay.
I'ma
If
tell
I
you
say
why.
a story, it's gonna be anecdotal. So I don't want to go
That's
there.
what we was asking though. We was asking.
Yeah, we
like,
wanted
what,
anecdotal.
what was the
Yeah.
situation? I want to laugh. Niggas can't laugh. I want to laugh. You know what I mean?
You better not
Now,
put
I
your
thought
brother
you was
out.
gonna say this. I'm gonna go to Charlotte Mr. Fantastic. I thought you was gonna say this, Jalen. When it was time to put the gloves on, niggas disappeared.
He gave you one.
I thought you was gonna use that.
Hell no. Why would I do that? Why would I do
Because
that?
that's the only situation you actually know about. You won't, nigga. You ain't around no killing, letting nigga die. You ain't around that shit.
I ain't around nobody. You
No,
right,
you
Hell. I don't
just
know
said it
nothing.
also outside the hood. You ain't doing that type of
I
shit.
don't know nothing.
You go to
You
tea
right.
parties and zoos and fucking what's the other thing? Art museums and shit. You ain't. You know what I mean, you got your
I
head
don't
on
know,
your
I
shoulder.
don't know nothing. Him. You right.
I'm just saying you don't know that, and that's a good thing. That's all I'm saying.
Jalen,
Okay.
if they come spinning on a block, niggas with guns gonna drop. They're scary. Their partners gonna turn around.
I already know
their
they're scary,
partners are
but
gonna-
I don't know
their
nothing,
partners are gonna
Sherelle. I
turn
don't know
around and ask
nothing.
them to empty their clip because the majority of them never let one off. And so many people have lost their friendships like that.
Yeah,
Even
you
with
just
guns in their pocket.
you naming cowards,
Niggas
right?
is cowards.
You introduce guns.
Niggas
You
live in
introduce
whole
guns.
countries with dictators.
You
where they know
introduce
that there's the
guns.
majority of the population, and they
Who?
let one man in a group of principalities rule over them.
What countries are a dictatorship? What countries are a dictatorship?
Groups of men all over the world are
What countries are a dictatorship?
a bunch of countries are in dictatorship. We damn near in a dictatorship.
Which one? No. You can't just say it's like a dictatorship. What I'm asking very specifically, what country? No. What countries are dictatorships? Go.
Men are
No. I need to know what countries are dictatorships.
Google the countries that's
No, you Google them. You said niggas is living all around the world with dictatorships.
No, that
What
there's countries
country?
with dictators.
Tell me. Go ahead. You said it. Go
You
ahead.
Google it. That's not the point. The
Nah,
point is
because it's a false premise.
It's not a false premise.
You
So
just
telling me
saying
there's
it.
no countries
Where
with
are the? Go ahead, name me the countries. Go
You
ahead.
saying there's no countries with dictators?
I didn't say none, but you said it's
Okay,
all
well,
over the world. So
there's
tell me
countries
where.
with dictators and them
Tell me
niggas
where.
not standing up to the little bit. At the end of the day,
Tell me
majority of people don't
where.
run like that. Where the vast
tell us
minority of
where.
people are controlling groups of people. Niggas is cowards. Niggas is getting pushed around, getting told what to do, following in lines.
See,
And the moment that you break out of line, you're gonna get put in jail. You're controlled. I keep
bro, how many countries are a
Y'all
dictatorship?
keep proving my premise. Y'all are in a controlled environment. Y'all ain't innately shit.
Mm.
Y'all being told what to do. That's what y'all told to do.
And that
That's
makes
what
them a
y'all
coward?
Y'all being told what to do. Yeah, most of y'all niggas is scary. That's why y'all be
Okay.
talking shit on the
So you're
internet. And
saying-
don't want to meet up at them.
So think about this, right?
That's why y'all talk shit to each other on the internet, and then when you get up at them,
Yeah, we already did that one.
Scary.
We've already mentioned that one. You have one anecdotal sample of a very small micro group, right? So now the men that were in the military, right? And they are under a hierarchy, right? When they have agreed, if necessary, they may have to go to war for the country. Are you saying that those men are cowards because they obey the hierarchy that they subscribe to?
No, I'm not talking about them. Them niggas got guns, right?
What?
At the end of the day, a lot of them don't feel like they going to war when they join the military. A lot
You
of niggas
just-
join the military for benefits. And a lot of
Sherelle,
them
you just said the niggas around
I'm
the
not
way.
talking about, because I'm not talking about the military. I'm talking about dictators.
Wait, you
I'm talking
can't-
about people.
You have to reconcile these points, though. So you said they got guns. Maybe you didn't mean to say that because you just said previously all these niggas around your way that got guns is folding. So guns don't mean nothing.
So that's
now.
what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. It's just gonna be
Go
the
ahead.
same shit in the military. They gotta be training them with guns. If they had to go
Oh, so they
combat
scary
for
too.
combat, when they had to go combat for combat and the weapons wasn't as big and them niggas could really die, y'all used to have to physically draft them. Still, right now, it's a selective service. Cause they gonna have to force y'all. They gonna have to say they saying go to war and go to jail. Cause niggas is
It's not in
scary.
action.
They wouldn't have laws that say y'all gotta go to war or go to jail if niggas wasn't scary. They know niggas would be like, fuck it, I ain't going to
Made no
war.
sense.
So they give you an option to go to jail. Lose
What are you
your
talking
freedom,
about?
go
Was
to
you
war
ready to
and fight for
kill?
your country. That's what selective services is, right?
Was you ready to
That's what
kill?
It's
draft
not
is, right?
the selective service is not
wrong.
action.
That's because that's it. That's so that you can be right there for the draft. That's what the draft was about. The draft was about.
I mean, sure,
if you do
sorry,
not
the
want to live in
draft
your
isn't
country,
active.
you're going to go to jail. Why did they make that law? Because niggas is scary.
When the last time they drafted somebody?
It don't matter. Why did they make that law?
It gotta matter.
It do matter because it's peaceful.
When are
now.
we?
We not warring
When are
right
we?
now.
Let me ask y'all a question. If you know what occupancy means, right? When are we not at war? We're at war.
But we're controlling shit.
Hold on,
too.
Sherelle. Here's the thing. We occupy so many countries, right? You understand that we are always at war, right? We haven't had to draft anybody since the 60s, right? Am I mistaken? Or late 70s or early
That
70s.
long ago, y'all still be bringing up.
Would have been the
sex
60s.
eight.
What I'm saying is we've been at war. Hold on. We've been at war and we haven't had to draft anybody for, well, how many years is that? 70, 60, 70?
But Hamp, you being obtuse right now because you understand this because we're literally the big fish. We're not occupying shit. We're not warring with them. We're bullying people all around. Exactly what you're proving.
Who's okay, wait. Watch this though.
Other countries.
Watch this though. Watch this. Watch how crazy that is. So now it's a bunch of men from here bullying other men, but now we cowards.
Majority.
We bullying all around the globe, but we cowards.
No, America is bullies. The cowards are the people that do controlling more.
This is crazy. Yo, this is crazy though. All right, hold your horses.
Because you're being obtuse.
No, I'm just breaking down the points. The points is nasty work.
You've been losing, and you.
No. See, I don't even have to. See, here's the thing about the actual conversation. I don't even have to yell out no dumb shit like Sherelle, I'm kicking your ass. It's just obvious. Shy, what's popping? Let Shy go. Let really go, because you just all over the place. I mean, let Shy go.
The majority of men are just not up in.
All right, you said it. We just went through the stuff. You said it. All right, go ahead, Shy.
So we talking about being a coward. I'm gonna just say this feels like a trick bag. I'm shocked at Jalen and her position on this. Well, fellas, y'all got a lot to lose. It's okay to walk away from some bullshit. It's a lot of niggas in the grave right now trying to prove this exact point about what it means to be a coward. So I'm not co-signing this in the least bit. I'd have had to walk away from a couple of fights that I know I could have won just to be better. So nah, man, I don't think because you walk away from a fight that makes you a coward. Because at the end of the day, when you lose your life trying to prove something, the same people that's telling you a coward and your baby girl and your wife now got to figure out something else, they're going to say you were stupid for doing it. So don't fall for the trick bag. I know we having a great entertaining conversation right now, but it don't make you a coward to walk away. Now, if you one of them type of guys that talk a lot and you start stuff and then the other guy approach you, want to do something about it, and now you want to cop please, that's a different situation. Yeah, but in general, you're not a coward from walking away from a fight, bro. That's nonsense.
So Shot making an outside point, right? Essentially, like just the baseline. Like so I think an example that Sean and I were conversing about, Shot, it was about it's on and that nigga go get a gun. See, that's the part. Not like my nigga, you good, I'm good type shit, right?
Okay, I get what you say. If I start some and then I go get a pistol when you come to me to fight, I'll get a that makes me a coward. What you saying?
I'm like,
I ain't mad at that. Okay, I'm not mad at that definition for sure.
It is hypothetical, yeah. But you saying, yo, it's bigger fish to fry. You got it, my nigga. It ain't that deep.
Yeah, but I still just in general, I don't think most men are cowards. I think at the end of the day, when it's time for life or death, most men know how to get into their fight or flight and figure it out. Most men do.
Okay, but I heard you. Okay, my bad. Go ahead, Sean. Sorry.
No, you good. That's it. I
want to read these real quick. I know Bub was trying to chime in on what you were saying. Let me just get to these. Angry Snowman was popping. Been a member for 13 months. DJ Hamp was good. Peace and prosperity to you and yours, family, my guy. Appreciate you. Good to see you, man. Hope all is well. Hakeem was good. Hakeem with the 50 ball said, here's some Nike shoe money for the little one. P.S. Bub, do me a favor and say, pimping since what movie is that? Is that Friday?
No, it's not Friday. It's either How High or I think it's How High.
That's the one with Powder. You know what I'm saying? Mike Powder. And pimping since been pimping.
Oh yeah. What movie is it?
Yeah, How High.
How High.
And when I'm feeling broke, E and J by my side, Henny like $40. This shit like
I can't appreciate you, my brother. Good to see you, man. Hope everything is everything. Omega Dreads with the $5. Just because Earth is $315 trillion in debt. Hakeem with the $5. DJ Hamp, how much do you charge for a pit bull or American bully pup? Because my new niece is due next month and I want to give her. I don't sell dogs, my nigga. Jarice with the $2. I'm only obligated to protect my mom and grandma. Striking it rich was popping with the £5 says we have to tell boys not to hit girls when they are young. That shows that it's not innate unless boys are taught or there's a benefit. Okay, interesting point. DC Slim with the $5. I'm loving the conversation. Salute. Ali was popping. Ali in the building with the 20 ball says a man's physicality alone is made to protect. Most men don't want problems with each other because men are unpredictable and naturally dangerous. It's like saying a gun that's never shot isn't made to shoot or delete. And striking the rich with the £2 says men have a proclivity, but it is not innate. Is the proclivity natural? Because that goes towards the definition.
They don't have to be mutually exclusive.
Ezekiel Ben Israel with the $10 says, if you know how to defend yourself, you should and choose to walk away. You a coward? No, I think what Shaw was saying was solid. I think what Sean and I were bantering about is a different hypothetical. DC Slim with the $2 says, these Bamas are punks. Stop the cap. Jesus Christ. Perfect. I'll leave it a 20 Paul. The disingenuous part about this argument is that men and women call men dangerous, and we call the so-called weakest men incels, the most dangerous to society. Now, today, men aren't dangerous or protectors, but laws made for them. Yeah, well, I guess we got to reconcile it. DC Slim with the $2 says, dudes be in the gym every day for looks, not war. Peace Rose with the $10 says, asking for receipts as of what she said is preposterous. You all know for a fact that black men's in particular are yellow belly. Jesus Christ. The soldiers going for a war that don't believe in are cowards too. Jesus Christ, bro.
Please renounce your citizenship and move to motherfucking the motherland.
Cali Bev with the $5 says, we ain't been at real war for several decades. The vast majority is drones and in boots or not boots on the ground. I don't know. If you look at those stories, man, there's a lot happening. And I think
y'all just shut the fuck up about the military if you ain't never served a day in the military. How about that? How about y'all just shut the fuck up?
Yo, there's a movie that just came out. It's called I think it's called like First Person View or something. But it's he was in this firefight. And he like wrote. Did y'all see it? So it's literally from what he can.
It's our nation, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
You know?
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know real, but I know motherfuckers dying, that's for sure. Hakeem with the $5. Mr. Fantastic. I take it back because apparently Jay is trying to take the biggest hater title from both of us. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Bub, did you want to say something? I have these questions. I have several questions, but go ahead.
I just wanted to ask Shah because Shah said he walked away from many fights. I wanted to ask Shaw, yo, why were so many people trying to test you, homie?
Nah, this hoop playing basketball, you know, nigga, you don't give me a style card, they be ready to crash out, bro. I play a lot of basketball, so just dealing with high head niggas in Atlanta hooping. These niggas real emotional out here when it comes to basketball, bro. So I let them call me all type of names and shit, just walk it off.
Yeah, but I'm saying your presence alone wasn't enough to say, yo, I'm not the one to be fucked with.
Nah, I smile too much, bro. It's my problem. Yeah, people ain't trying. It's my fault, bro. I'm too like smiley. It's my fault, bro. It's my fault. I don't have that tough exterior, bro. I don't.
Well,
that's what it is.
Well, I was gonna
you was gonna answer too.
So yeah, definitely not. And to everybody using the military is the worst possible fucking answer you can use, right? Because I think if you wanted to use that as a premise, draft dodgers were far less than the people that, you know, accepted you feel me? You didn't have a majority of people dodging the draft because you could have did that. And just like you say, you can be put in jail, Sherelle, but niggas still choose to go do the military shit.
Yeah, but the majority of men are in the military.
No. The majority of men aren't in the military. But what I'm saying is, if there were to be a draft, even though now these young niggas, I don't know, they're a little different, but still, most people would go to do it versus being in prison.
But if the majority of you wasn't cowards, y'all all be in the military.
Well, no, that don't. No. Well, no. Well, no. That again, because it's not about being a cowardice thing. Military service isn't just about courage, or you know what I'm saying. It's a lot of different things. Patriotism is involved, like Cheeky said. Benefits are involved. Mindset, like you said, a lot of people don't want to be under a hierarchical system that's that strict. A lot of people don't want to have to go by two rule books or two laws. So you got the civilian law, then you got the UCMJ, right? So it's a lot of details and stuff about the military people don't understand. And that's where if you can go somewhere and, you know, get all that other things without that structure and those strict rules, I mean, I don't blame them. But
isn't HAMP always saying the majority of niggas won't kill nothing, don't let nothing die?
Well, no, I agree with that, but just because, well, like that goes to Shad's point. So, Jordan Peterson had this thing where he said, you know, a good man is a dangerous man that pretty much knows how to control it, right? Every man has the opportunity to delete somebody, to take a life. Like I said, all you need is 5 pounds of pressure, right? Now, am I saying everybody's out here just a cold-blooded killer or so on and so forth? But in most cases, if your life is put at risk, most men are, and you know for sure, hey, this motherfucker gonna kill me. Shout out to Gucci Man. Hey, they letting that shit go.
That's different. Survival.
But Mr. Fantastic, like I asked earlier, you and Tiki, like, yo, was y'all ready to go kill, or was y'all looking for an opportunity? Was y'all looking for something that was going to benefit both of y'all?
No, I was looking for an opportunity, bro. I didn't sign up for infantry. I wasn't trying to be infantry at all.
I was in the Air Force. I'm smart. Like, what the fuck?
Fantastic. You don't think you just described survival? You said when niggas in them situations.
Well, yeah, niggas just survive by running.
A nigga that's in a gym.
Niggas can survive by running, like you said. Niggas can run.
Situation. I'm saying, but like, you think them 5'3", 117-pound Asian men are gonna stand their ground and not run?
If they got a motherfucking samurai sword, nigga, they gonna holler under your ass.
No, who walking around with a samurai sword? If we can't have a gun in a situation, why they got a samurai sword?
Well, brother, I don't know. That's something they do. They don't really know karate like that. That karate shit was a myth, but you know, for the most part.
So you think the average Asian, because there's more Asians, way more Asians than it is us. You think the average Asian is gonna stand his ground and not try to get up out of the jam instead?
If he has a weapon,
no weapon. We're not talking about weapons, because HAMP was just talking about fighting. He was talking about man versus man. You think they gonna come? He cannot get out of, or they gonna stand there and be like, "Hey, you 6'5" punk ass nigga." What they gonna do, bro?
If it's something to where they can't get out of, bro, they're gonna fight. If they can run, yeah, they're gonna run, because I mean, you know, they've got a better chance of survival. But what I'm saying is, no man just fucking all right, kill me.
What would be their first instinct? Because you hedged your answer. What would be their first instinct? Do you think? Do you think they would try to get out of the situation, or they would try to fight?
The majority of we talking about someone is much bigger, yeah, run. They run. But hold on, but you're pigeonholing again. You're pigeonholing the answer. So what would they? Hold on, that's me. Now hold on, I am the minority. 6'5" niggas, you know what I mean? Is like, I think less than 5% of the whole world and population. Okay,
I'm only 6 feet. They ain't gonna try to fight either.
Well, no, but we don't know that. So that's what I'm saying. The more it gets to the point of where, and I can tell you this, nigga, 6'5", nigga, if John Jones, hey, I'm either fucking, hey, brother, either we can motherfucking walk away or you can limp away. I'm not fighting John.
Have any of us ever seen an Asian guy try to smack a nigga lips off his face?
Well, yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
No, bro. Where? They
got the tapes out here, bro. They got
no, in life, bro.
No, not physically. I'm not around the Chinaman like that.
Dog, these people are meek. We use the word coward, and I think that's a terrible word to use.
Why you use Chinaman?
I'm just saying, look at the population in the world, dog. Most of the population is not here. it's over
All
somewhere.
of them originate from China, Cheeky, and then they spread out and do some other
When we
shit.
say,
They all
when we say men, we're talking about all men. We can't just pick and choose which men we're talking about.
And I'm with you. And we're talking about all men, Asian men, white men, Hispanic men, all this shit, so on and so forth, right? So you using Asian, but I can tell you this for sure. You ain't trying to fuck with them motherfucking Mexicans and them Venezuelans.
Average colonizer. You know what I'm saying? Them colonizers.
Hold on. No, you now you're doing the same thing. You're taking the non-violent men or the men that you think are, smaller.
Because they're the majority of the men in the world, between the Asians and colonizers and shit like that.
No. Colonizers are the most. So it's Asians, then black people.
I'm saying combined. That's like the majority of people would fall under somewhere under those things, right?
Yeah, Mongoloid, then Negroid, then.
Which is my point, that most of them, bro, they not fighting nothing. Look, one more question for y'all. I'm gonna ask Hamp, because you know what? Hamp is very, very honest. Hamp, did any point when you were growing up, did your parents tell y'all you're supposed to fight and or protect your sibling, fight for and protect your siblings?
Yeah.
Do you think that there would be a need for them to tell you that if it was innate?
Yes.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think.
So here's the thing, right? So parents give lessons, right?
Mm-hmm.
They give lessons in all things based on what they're learning. But in my family, if something were to happen and I specifically didn't protect, my father would take extreme what's the word? If they take exception, offense, if I were to stand there or not react in a particular way over my brothers, just to be 100% honest, right? Because innately, it's me, like my disposition is more naturally like that, you see.
So take you out of pause, remove yourself from that situation. Most people, do you feel like they have to be told that because it just won't come naturally?
No, it's a prerequisite.
I'm not asking you that, big dog. I'm asking him.
That's the thing. The lessons that are taught, right? Parents have to feel the need, right, to say, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. I don't know if that negates it being natural to a person, right? A lot of things are fortified or solidified.
We had to be told that. My mom even said, like, I remember I didn't fight back when this boy beat me up in 4th grade. She said, I don't care what happens. You need to kick, scratch, bite, spit. You better fight back. Period. It didn't come natural to me. I thought he was my friend, actually, and I didn't even understand why we was fighting. My brain didn't say he's currently fighting you, so fight back. I didn't even understand that. And I believe that I was a normal kid because I didn't have that natural instinct to fight him back.
Hey, Ham, can I ask a question?
Sure.
I'm just curious to know what the individuals who are kind of opposed to what we're saying, what would be a good example of something that's innate? What do they think?
Your sexual desire.
That's innate?
Can't get rid of that.
What'd you say, Sherelle?
Sexual desire, higher level of testosterone, that's innate. You don't get rid of that. It's actually giving birth to a lot of the stuff that y'all are talking about with the protection and provision, right? So, of course, y'all, that's innate in y'all, right? And then it kind of gets to the point where
you saying, I'm sorry, Sherelle, you saying sexual desire is innate?
To men, yeah.
You don't think we're socialized to be sexual in that way?
That's biological.
I think if you wake up and
of course,
it would come all in your dreams. You know what I'm saying? Like you would do stuff like that.
Let's
like
just put it in proper context. Let's walk down the science. So of course, Shad, when you first begin, even though some psychologists say, children start exploring themselves, in early age, but they don't know what they're doing, right? But once you hit puberty, yes, you don't have to be taught that. I literally asked this question on Twitter like 2 weeks ago because people were saying this shit. You don't have to be taught to be attracted to a woman, or a woman don't have to be taught to be attracted to a man. It's just literally something.
Go
ahead.
Okay, so right now it seems like the only one we have is sexual desire. I'm just asking because if we're still kind of going back and forth about nature and protection. That's not innate. I'm just curious to know what do people think is actually innate in humans.
I want to ask a question. Go ahead.
Survival is innate. Sexual desire is innate. like Cheek kept saying earlier, you being the benefactor is innate, right? So we all like he's talking about like Big Chug, right? To where a child has to be taught share, right? Share. That's why you have to socialize children early, because if you don't, they're not socialized with children. They just all mine. The primal aspect. So you know, being territorial or owning things and taking as much as you possibly can take, that's innate. And I can't think of nothing else, but those things right there, for the most part, is just shit that's just naturally there.
Right, and that would give birth to you wanting to protect the things that you possess. Right. That possession factor. This is my kid. This is my woman. This is my shit, and ain't nobody gonna come over here with my. That's where you going crazy for. But if somebody doing something to their kids, you minding your business 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, Sherelle, but like I'm saying, right? So this is what I'm saying. I never disagree with that. Cheek was 1,000% right on that. I wasn't disagreeing with the ownership aspect of it being a part. But what I'm saying is also outside of that, I've been in situations where I had to step in for kids that were not mine simply because they were kids.
You're 7'10".
Whatever. It don't matter. I could be like Bernie Mac and fuck them kids. But I don't. Like if I see a kid in danger, I'm going to help the child. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. A man's thing is to be like, hey, or better yet, like I say, if I you know, just certain things and so on and so forth. Little old lady or some shit, right? Those people that I feel like can't help themselves, something naturally kicks in. Just like you know, motherly instincts, right? Women have like natural motherly instincts once they become a mother. It's always there. It just has to be awakened for her to give a child.
But it's a process of 9 months of bonding with that kid. Then she's like literally giving birth to that kid. That's totally different than men being socialized to feel like, hey, yo, y'all are the strong ones. We're going to use y'all to protect shit. That's what people came up with.
Girl,
y'all are the strong ones. So you're socialized. Like society will call you out, you being that big, allowing something to happen to a woman.
No, it's not socialization.
It's a socialization. You think because you've been socialized to believe it that it's innate to you. But if you could mind your business and nobody ever judged you for it, you would mind your business.
So hold on. So just real quick. So Sherelle, you gave a great point. I'm glad you said it, right? The whole process of it is and there's something about innate is that it can always be there, but it has to be activated or event has to happen, right? So most of the cases where y'all say most people are cowards or most people are whatever, they're never put in a position to be a hero. So once that instant comes and you react and you fucking go to the thing versus go away from it, that's what we're saying that most men have. That's what we're saying. Most men have that thing as to where if you are presented with this, oh shit, this motherfucking kid about to get ran over in the street, I'm gonna fucking dive in and grab him. So hey, if I get hit, fuck it. I you know what I'm saying? So and at the same time, Sherelle, the other part is I am a fucking master of the art of fuck it. Like you say, Sherelle, I don't give a fuck about a motherfucker got to say shit about nothing. So if I just wanted to walk away, I can just walk away. You feel me?
Look, I wanted to add something to Sean's point, because he said a little earlier how he let dude, you know, it was his friend, so he, you know, his innate survival instinct didn't kick in and be like, you know what, I'm under attack right now. Let me fight back. That just because you didn't fight back doesn't disqualify the fact that you have an innate desire to survive. And so when you try and put these disqualifiers up, you're trying to kill an argument, but you're really not, because hold on a second, just because you're trying to disqualify by saying that they didn't meet this litmus test, so it's not innate, doesn't carry your argument saying that survival isn't innate or not. Survival.
Wait. Why are we using kids fighting as the canon event for life-threatening situation? Well, we just said women getting beat was for protection. Like I'm not going to say Sean not fighting back his childhood friend as children's is an identifier of his inability to innately want to survive. It was just a conflict that he's unfamiliar with because he's a child. That's something totally different. I can't even attribute that to a lack of understanding will to survive, because if the kid had a knife or something, his will to survive would kick in and he would run away. Something would happen. But the other thing too is there was a purpose behind the question. It wasn't just to get everybody to say men are cowards. It was to see how are y'all measuring this. If we just agreed most men aren't in a position to show whether or not they'll be heroes or cowards, how can you measure if most men are cowards or not? If most men are not in the military, only 1% of the population overall in the United States is in the military, and every job in the military is not a life-threatening job, how many men are actually in those positions? Every firefighter, that is a minimal amount of men. We only have this big of a percentage point to determine whether or not all men are replicant to the men that we know who actively put themselves in danger. How do you measure that? The simple answer is you can't. The thing that I can measure, and I know has been happening, is we've been socialized and taught and been led to be and behave and to think a certain way. Human beings are inherently selfish. That is innate.
We have measured it for you. You just don't accept it. And here's the thing. We have measured it for you in multiple instances how it shows up in society because men control society. But the thing that I'm trying to say is that Sean not fighting back is not the same way you can use a litmus test for something somebody doesn't do, like going into the military. That means you're a coward. That means you're not innately wanting to protect and provide. You could do the same thing, the same litmus test in this instance that Sean gave as an example for him not wanting the will to live. You know what I'm saying? Because in this instance, he was getting his ass beat and he didn't do shit about it. His mama had to tell him
he was getting his ass beat to the brink of death.
Hold on a second.
To the brink of death? To the brink of death? To the brink of death.
Hold on a second, bro. Damn. I'll let you
man.
speak, man.
You are. Go ahead. Go ahead. My bad.
He was getting his ass beat, and so his mother had to come in and say, hey, don't let nobody beat your ass like that. You need to fight back. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't qualify, and this is the point that I'm trying to say, I wouldn't qualify a litmus test of him saying that him getting his ass beat as a litmus test to say that, number one, he's a coward, or number two, he don't have the innate ability or want to survive because he got his ass beat. They got some people who get their ass beat and don't know that they should fight back, but die behind it before somebody could come to them and say, hey, you need to fight back. So what I'm saying to you is that you can't use certain things as a disqualifier the same way Sean wouldn't use him getting his ass beat as a disqualifier for him wanting to survive in life. That's the point that I'm trying to make.
But nobody disqualified. Hold on. No, the issue is no. You can't wait. Hold on. Don't tell me to listen. Hold on. Let me finish. You just finish your point.
Okay, go ahead.
You're not listening to me. I didn't disqualify anybody. All I said is there is no evidence based off of what we just said. If most men haven't been in fight, most men aren't actively in roles or in jobs where they're placing their body on the line for somebody else. Because it's funny, we already said that protection expands beyond physical things, but we got right back to physical things. Funny enough, Super Chat said it. Everybody else said it. Most men don't have a need to be physical in this day of time, which goes to your point. So I'm only using what you said earlier to go, how can you measure whether somebody's going to be a coward or not when in most cases there is no physicality?
What we said was, and this I'm going to say it again. You're using things to disqualify in the conversation, not you specifically, but in the conversation, there have been things that to disqualify a man from being a protector and provider. Like
what did I do?
Well, you jumped in here, man. I was just speaking to Sean. You the one who jumped in.
Stop telling me to listen. What did I do? What did I say? What did I disqualify?
Listen to what I'm saying to you. I'm not talking about you specifically. You jumped into the conversation when I was talking about Sean and put yourself in the line of fire when I was speaking on that. Now, here's the thing that I want to say. I'm saying that we have demonstrated that there is a litmus test that exists in society that men have created that shows their innate ability to want to protect and provide for women specifically. And you found
what litmus test?
Police, army, calling the police if something happens, a firefighter that jumps into a fire. These are men.
Real quick, is it fair to conflate right there? Now you went back to protect and provide, but this whole time we've been talking about protect.
Well,
so I mean, when you merge protect and provide right there, it kind of made it unfair compared to what we're providing. Because
we're providing this American lifestyle that everybody lives under, like that. I mean, you have to look at, like, we have to. Freedom isn't free. We have the biggest military in the country. We're providing this lifestyle, and people, what happens is that it gets lost because you lose sight of the fact that these are men that are providing this type of lifestyle, that are protecting our country, doing this type of thing. And so the ideology behind whether or not a man is innately one to protect and provide for women gets lost in translation because of that. It gets overlooked. That's what I'm trying to speak to. And what I was speaking to is the disqualifiers. You can't use things to disqualify, or a litmus test to disqualify whether or not most men are willing to protect and provide, because the fact that we live in a country where you can call 911 is clear evidence that you men inherently want to protect and provide. That's what I'm saying.
No, and that's the issue that I'm going to have. And that's the issue that most people will have. Just because your daddy was a gangster don't make you a gangster. Just because there are men that are willing to protect doesn't make you a protector. You are not in that situation to do that. And which is why it's hard to say whether or not men will or will not protect, because we simply just don't know. What we do know is if it's in what we are assuming is if it's in direct conflict with that individual and the things that he's tied to, he's willing. It's the assumption is he's willing to do that. But doing it for the benefit of just everyone else, that's not recorded. That's not even how most human beings work. Why is it why?
And I'm talking about on a macro level.
Okay, so but what you're trying to do is use the micro to represent the macro. How many men are police officers in the United States, percentage wise?
What is just the thought of it? So just because
if we're going,
I'm about to explain it to you because I'm following. We as men, we participate in this. So we as men collectively say we accept this, because if we didn't, then we wouldn't. It would be in disarray. So the fact that us as men accept the fact that we have a mitigated assistance of the police force to prevent us from having to always go into every fucking battle and disarm every motherfucking body. That is an instance of, on a macro level, because we're talking in generalities. That is on a macro level an example of protection and provision from men. And what gets lost is the fact that because we have evolved it, it's like, oh, if you're not doing it mindlessly and jumping in fires and stuff like that, then you don't have protection and provision in your mind. But the fact that we participate in this thing that we constructed together is an example of protection.
Okay, so wait, please.
Y'all gotta do a better job though, understanding.
All right, I got you. Here's the final point. Here, so are women providers and protectors?
No, I said that 1,000 times.
You said what 1,000 times?
Like drink the water like that.
Because I'll be thirsty, dog. I said no. I said you said that 1,000 times before.
So if a man can protect by just calling the firefighters, then a woman could call a firefighter. Then why is she not protecting if all the man is doing is calling some other niggas? Women
didn't organize this shit. Men did.
Okay, so Ham. Now,
calling other men to handle it. The men who handle it, we're gonna call the select few of men who handle it. Always less than
women didn't organize this shit.
Men who handle it, we're gonna call them just like y'all gonna call them.
Men organize this shit. We are the author of this shit.
Wait, hold on.
Author, we are. We the one that are enforcement on of this shit. If this shit if we don't like how this shit going, men will collectively stop.
So yeah, the argument is simply the civility that has been created. August attributes all of that to men, and therefore by proxy, it shows that men protect.
No, and see that is the issue.
Direct retort.
The direct retort is
that's on a macro level.
If we're using a minimum of men to represent something that's innate, and we don't have any ability to show it, how can we say it's innate when we know for a fact the things that we do know is socialized and it's already been proven? There's already psychological studies. There's already environmental studies. They already show if you're not socialized in a proper, healthy environment, you are bound to be the outcome of something that is not good. They don't say it's innate for them to do that. We can't keep using the minimal or the smallest amount of men to represent all men and say this is innateness. Provision and protection is not innate. It's socialized. And if you weren't raised a certain way, it's going to show. Women are complaining about it. Men are complaining about it. Men have been saying men aren't men. Women have been saying men aren't men. Something has changed. It's not innate. It's social. It's society.
Zoom out a little bit more. Who created social? Who created society?
Okay, so if we're gonna go back to
that's what I'm trying to say. So
okay. So if everything,
to think this way, my nigga,
that's
a part of protection.
Okay, so if everything, hold on, if we zoom all the way out, women are included and have always been included, so they are providers and protectors.
Women didn't set this shit up; men did.
So just because you set it up,
they don't have the enforcement arm to do so.
Which men set it up? Who built it? Who?
Our predecessors.
Whose predecessors? Who built
it?
Me,
you, yours, us. Our predecessors. The niggas that predate us. That's who built it, my nigga. Goddamn.
Specifically, who built the world?
Why does it need to be specific? They predate
because
us.
Not every man built the world, bro. Anyway,
every man don't have to build the world for men to be innately. We participate.
So you gonna take credit for what your oppressors did?
Hold on.
I'm taking credit for being. I'm taking credit in it. I'm taking credit in it. I participated in it.
August, let me ask you a question.
If I didn't like it, if most men didn't like it, we wouldn't participate in it.
Look at what you have to say.
August, are all providers protectors?
Are all providers protectors? What does that mean? What do you mean by that?
Is provision and protection mutually exclusive?
No, they're not mutually exclusive.
You have to decouple them because it's a talking point that we never heard until we got to YouTube, right?
Okay.
Look, just because you're a provider does not mean you're also a protector, because that's why I was saying when you keep coupling the words, it makes it seem as if they have to come in a package deal. Hold on 1 second. Now listen to y'all go back and forth for 30 minutes, right?
Gotcha,
I'm tired. So look, I believe that most men are providers. I don't think it's innate, but most men are providers, right? That's cool. But I still don't think that those men are protectors. They don't have a need. To Chiqui's point, they have never had a need to protect anything in any facet. They just provide. They exist. So that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, providers. Okay, most men providers, cool. But they're not protecting shit. What are they doing? What are they protecting them from?
What you're saying is because there isn't a litmus test, because we have civilized ourselves to the point of our protection and provision. And I'm saying provide protection. What we're saying is that because there's no litmus test to say, hey, you in this instant are going to protect, whatever happens, because we've evolved past that, means that most men are not protectors or providers, which is ridiculous. That's what I'm trying to say. If you zoom out and if somebody were to go out and do a study and they were this interested in it, then yes, there would be some data to indicate, yes, most men will protect and provide. But if you don't really have to do that, because you can zoom out and see that we participate in an economy or inside of a society that protects and provides for the masses. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so I think the the point that's being made is that there's not enough men involved in the civility of the society and the creation of it, and it was way before us, that it's hard to use those men's actions and then extrapolate that to most men. August is simply saying the fact that men did it and then men agree to it and then men enforce it shows that men are protecting. So that's where the crux of the issue is.
We agree with it.
So,
that's why we wouldn't change it up. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's what I just said. I just don't want to hear y'all, because y'all kind of going back and forth the same thing over and over. So that's the point. So can't extrapolate it. August saying you can't extrapolate the action of those men to other men. Sean saying you can't take credit for those. You can't extrapolate those behaviors to most men.
So, and even what they're saying is even the men that came up with the idea, it wasn't innate to them. It was an idea. And then they socialized or programmed other men to have their idea, because they felt like, well, this is the idea of what I want, and I'm going to enforce that idea onto other men. But it's not innate to me, and it ain't innate to them.
That's what he's saying.
There's other benefits for us doing the stuff that we're doing.
Yeah, and he's saying that men agreed with it, right? Is what he's presenting. And men innately protected their women and children. And so civility allows those women and children to be protected even outside of that man. So if I agree to a construct, in which case Cheeky agrees, Shad agrees, Sean agrees, Fantastic agrees, August agrees, now I know that when my family goes out in the earth, if me and these men have the same ideology, they're more likely to be better protected. So that's the innate, but that's the innate thing about it, right? It takes a village. That's why when I bring Big Chook to the boxing gym, everybody yells at him, right? Other men get to discipline him in that way, right? Because that's the construct that's needed, and we all agree. That's why what August is saying, I'm just trying to understand.
It's the best way too. That's what I'm trying to say, and that's how it shows up. It's the best, most viable way for us to protect our women. What she's trying to say is just because they created the construct, it evolves, and so we try and find better ways to be more protector and provisionary. That's what we do as men, and so it's showing up in different ways. But y'all are not qualifying it as that because there's no barbaric litmus test to it to show y'all that this man is a protector and a provider, which is ridiculous. That's what y'all are trying to take logic out of it.
Go ahead, Cheek, and I'm gonna read these supers. Go ahead, Cheek.
Yeah, no, I'm not using that. I'm saying that's a litmus test. Just not what I'm doing. Right? I think you're missing the point, which is most people are born into society, so they don't even have. They're not willingly signing a contract. Like, oh, this is just part of the contract. What they're doing is being socialized to follow and adhere to. These are social norms. It's not something that is innately done. It's something that has to be taught. These things are socialized. That's the bigger point that I'm getting at. The things that we keep saying is innate is being taught to us. Why can't you go out and act ratchet in public? Who taught you that? Your mother, your father, somebody of authority said, don't act this way. Why? Because this goes against how our society runs. You didn't understand it, and you may not, and children won't understand it, nor did you officially sign a social contract saying these are the things that'll happen, and if this does happen, I'm going to step in and protect. What you do is act according to how you've been socialized, and that's just it.
Was the social norms to hit women? Was there once upon a time a social norm to hit women?
No.
I don't think that was a social norm. That was a law. There was a lack
allowance. It wasn't criminal at a particular time.
No, I'm saying, but was there a social?
That's not a norm.
What I'm saying is, was there a social norm at one period in time where it wasn't criminal to hit a woman?
Your wife. So specifically,
your wife. Yeah,
okay.
Wife, yeah, it was a social norm.
Right. There was the rule of thumb was an actual thing, right? Say domestic discipline was allowed.
Okay, now
but you also couldn't go fucking bananas.
Yeah, sure. We can qualify. Yeah, I'm saying, but was that socially normal at one point in time?
It was socially accepted.
Socially accepted.
But I won't say normal.
I don't think the majority of men were doing
practicing that.
Speculation. Yeah.
So socially accepted, right? Okay, now it's outlawed. We've evolved past that point where it's not even socially accepted. You understand what I'm saying? So what you're trying to do is you're trying to qualify it being socialized as that's what it is. And it's like, yeah, but the idea of socializing is the protection. That's what men have structured under men's structure in society, is to socialize us this particular way in order to protect and provide. That's what I'm trying to say to you. You got to zoom out.
That's fine. You could keep saying you got to zoom out, and I think we just keep going in circles. But go ahead, Hamp. You got to read.
Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button. What's up, Tay? Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel. Perfect. Chris J in the building with the 20 ball said, I do not subscribe to the notion that most men exhibit cowardice. When placed in high stakes, life-threatening scenarios, individuals often display a level of courage that may be previously unrecognized.
Shit like that.
Well put. Christopher J with the $5 says, choosing to disengage from a trivial confrontation does not equate to cowardice, especially when there is no tangible benefits to be gained. Yeah, I think that's what Shaw was laying out. I think Chris still manned it. Christopher J with the $10 says, such decisions should be understood within the broader context of risk assessment and rational decision making, rather than as a reflection of character. Okay. Pete's Rose with the $10 says, average Asian got more cojones than us. They have mandatory military training, and they fought to have a hate crime bill passed. If you do something to one of them, it's illegal. Black men could never.
Who is this fucking black man hating ass
person? She got an opinion. You want to retort?
Like, nah, just seek help, baby. The Lord and a therapist.
Hakeem with the $5 says, if August picked out August ain't here. I'm gonna read it when he get back. I'll leave with a 20 ball. Says, to Sean's point, if a tiger is raised in a circus to ride a tricycle and it wouldn't hurt a human, even if if a human hit it and it refuses to hunt and wants to be hand fed, is it innately safe or is it, or does it not know it's a tiger? You want to respond to this, Sean?
If a tiger is raised in a circus to ride a tricycle, and it wouldn't hurt a human, I guess. No, it could still be innate, but you could be socialized not to do something. But it could still be innate.
Wait, but look, Sean, reverse it. It's the same way how you innately don't give up and you're socialized to protect and provide. It's literally your point. How you literally naturally don't give a fuck about nobody but yourself. And then they socialized you to care about women and children because y'all don't protect other men. That ain't what y'all screaming protection and provision for. Ain't other men.
But that's the point.
It's little girls, little boys, and women's that y'all protecting and providing for. It ain't other men. It ain't society.
No,
Do
men
y'all
protect
know
men
what
too.
men to do to other men?
Well, no, men. That's why men
and
created
take
laws.
niggas and their kids.
Well, no. That's why men created laws, because men understand men's savagery. So we had to construct society in a way as to where.
But men created laws to protect themselves.
No,
Because
not
the
just.
same laws that y'all created, the same way y'all got this motherfucker. Don't kill. You killed everybody. You got. Don't steal. You stole the fucking land. All the laws you created was to protect you from suffering from the shit you made other people suffer from.
Well, no. Well,
You're protecting your damn self. If that's the protection you're talking about, yeah, that's innate. But that would be your survival.
No. So no.
All the laws that our lands are built on are not the same laws we had to break to get them.
No. So Sherelle, you could always just operate in chaos, anarchy, and power, right? We always got the choice, even with the structures and laws. You don't have to follow them. People go to jail every day, right? So what we're saying is, men understood in operating that way, more people suffer and there's more death than necessary, and it's not a good construct of progress. So men adapt. So men said, hey, even though we strong and can kill shit and can take shit over, that's not gonna work in the long run. You know what I'm saying? Because if you go back, what is it, like 1,000 years or whatever, the life expectancy was like, I think maybe 30. If you lived to be 30, you were lucky, right? So what we're saying is, men have understood, and that's the part of the protection that we're talking about. Protection isn't only just physical and bravery and so on and so forth. Protection is innovation. Protection is order. Protection is structure. Protection, like August says, intelligence is using your mind versus just using the brawn. So that's why I'm saying it's not a socialization thing, because even if you want to use socialization, like Cheeky is saying, men created the socialization. Men literally set the framework for which we socialize and made the necessary changes to it, because we understood, hey man, hey, beating your wife because she cooked the chicken too long, and they ain't gonna do good, brother. We're gonna stop doing that.
Okay. So
I gotta read these. Hold on. I'll leave with the 20. Yeah. I'll leave with the 20 bucks. Also, if we're gonna play this game, because it's gonna favor the men. If men aren't naturally made to protect, are they born to be husbands or have sex, bust, create babies, and take care of who presents value to him? This for Cheeky.
Well, what is it? Well, there's too many questions. All right, so the first one, if we play this game, are men naturally made to protect? Yeah, you can be physically built or naturally made to protect physically, I guess, like if that's what you mean. Sure. Are they born to be husbands? No, that's a social construct. You don't have to be a husband that's a social thing. Sex, if you're heterosexual, I believe that to be a natural, inherent thing. I think you're born the way you are. And if some people are homosexual, I don't know. That's not me. I don't know how it worked for them. Or bi, I don't get that shit either. So all of that seems natural, and take care of who presents value to them. That's been my point. Men will provide and protect if it benefits him and it has a direct link and connection to him. All right, so I don't know. Maybe he's missed that part of the conversation where I was saying, nah. So yeah, I think I answered it though. Go ahead.
Caesar's Pals with the $10 says, Cheeky asks, how can we measure if men are cowards or not? Question for the panel. But most men protect his domain or home if an intruder broke in. Majority or minority? Majority.
Minority will protect. Most I think most are gonna hide and call 911.
Your own house?
Your home, son?
Your own house, son? Nah, fam.
I think most of them are gonna hide and call 911.
The point behind this question, that the point, no matter what we say, the point is, how many of y'all homes have been broken into? I'm just curious.
Me, none.
Just my cars.
Oh, just your cars, not your home though.
But I caught them when they were doing it.
Right. So this goes back. There is no measurement. We don't know. We're all happy.
Entertainment has made us think that busting a gun is easier at a human is easier than it is. I think entertainment has made us think that. It really has. Fantastic. Most niggas ain't never in their life gonna bust a gun. I mean, most people. Period.
I got you.
Never in their life shoot at nothing.
I think even America, the majority of people don't own guns, right? So I think in that position, because most people don't own guns, yes. But if you have a gun in your home, Sean, you're gonna use it, bro.
The context of this is simple, right? So if somebody breaks into my house, right? All my bedrooms are upstairs. I'm gonna make sure that my children and my wife are in a place, right? I'm not ready to rock, my nigga. I sleep in my birthday suit. Them niggas came in the house ready to rock. Shit me. Of course I'm not on go 100%, but I got a few weapons, right? I'm gonna call the police, make sure my kids and my wife in a safe area, and I'm not giving up high ground. They can take whatever's down there. I'm gonna say, you try to come up these stairs, you a dead cracker. Right?
You know he white. You know he got to be a white man cleaning this door. We know that. We already know.
Dirty mathematics.
Right? And I got a Mossberg up here, and this shit gonna hit a whole lot of shit down there. Right? And the police are on the way. So I'm gonna be ready to rock, but I'm not giving up high ground. I'm not running down there. I know what's upstairs. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the context. You gotta do what makes sense, but you still willing to rock though. You know what I'm saying?
But the majority of Americans don't own guns.
Don't even make it American because we say men.
Okay, so but the majority of men don't own guns.
World.
You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing is, but the people who are breaking in your house, they most likely got one.
Exactly. Well, no. If you're in a place
are gonna go hide in the closet.
Yeah, if you're in a place that has guns, but then we're going back to the original premise as to where, okay, are you going to die over fucking trying to bring a fist to a gunfight? No, you're not going to supersede your fucking survival instinct when you don't have the upper hand. Now, for me, I have my motherfucking AR-12, which is staggered, and I have one level, so I don't have the fucking what's name. I am getting my Call of Duty stats up in real life.
Y'all gotta stop hanging around super niggas. Y'all gotta start getting regular friends.
Once again, we can't insert a weapon into everybody's hand when it's convenient. We talking about most people. You running most motherfuckers' cribs. They ain't got no pistol. They ain't got no weapon.
Hold on. So does that make them a coward? Hold on. See, y'all just said it.
I never said coward. I didn't say coward. I never said coward. I'm just saying. I'm saying they don't want no smoke.
The question has coward in it.
Nobody won't smoke with a gun if you ain't got one.
The point that I was making, right, because I think it was missed, is that all of these hypotheticals are not likely to happen because based off of what Fantastic and August said, we're civilized. So trying to use our measurement of protection in that way, which is what y'all been fighting against the entire time, and physicality doesn't make sense. Don't try to use the hypothetical, which we always tend to do when we have these conversations, is when somebody kicking your door, you want a man in the house, right? But how many people getting their doors kicked in? Okay, not many. All right, that's just the honest truth. We've already established most of y'all houses have not been broken into. Maybe your car, but not your house. So can we please, if we're going to say, hey, protection expands beyond everything, it's money, it's love, it's this, everybody is providing and protecting. Literally, everybody can and are doing it. Women are providing and protecting. So I'm willing to concede this entire argument if we're allowed to say women are providers and protectors too. But I know most men are not going to be okay with saying that because what we've expanded protection to and provision to.
What's getting lost here
let me read these five real quick. I'll leave with the $5. Says most men will intervene if they see something happening to a woman or a child. This is a flawed argument. DC Slim with the $5 says the overcompensating of masculinity is making some dudes look fake as a $3 bill. Aaron with the $2 says, do women dictate how men evolve? We had to get to that a little later. CJ with the $2 says, Cheeky is correct in this topic. Ezekiel bin Israel with the $5 says, can Tay say one word? Yeah, we're gonna get Tay in. But you know what's dope that she came a little late? That she been able to just consume all the information. So you can give us your 2 cents once August hopefully speaks concisely, which I wouldn't bet my last dollar on. But Ezekiel with the $5 says, can Tay? Oh, I got this one. Hakeem with the $2 says, Sherelle, talk less. There's a marriage in it for you. Stupid. Ezekiel bin Israel with the $2 says, hit the like button. That's a fact, though. I'll leave with the $10 says, we really doing this today. Are men barbaric by nature or are men safe? Were we savage, then more savage than civilized, or are we naturally civil, conditioned to be savage? Aaron with the $2 says, free Tay. It's interesting here. Go ahead, August.
And I was just going to say what got lost in the conversation is the fact that you calling the police is a part of the protection. That's a tool in the protection. It's calling the police. You're not going to sit idly by and be like, you know what? Take whatever you want. I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm not even going to call the police. You can have it. That's not going to happen. You're going to at least call the police.
Like I said, listen to what we're establishing as provision and protection and tell me that a woman can't do it, please. And then once you're able to tell me that, I'm willing to concede and say men are innately providers and protectors, and women. We could say both are. Might as well.
See, here's the thing. Can I say this? Let me answer this real quick. Here's the thing that you're saying. You're trying to conflate, can a woman do something, to is it innate? Those are two different arguments. We're talking about the innate ability to protect and provide, which men have constructed society, which is a clear indication that they are innately wanting to. Because if men wanted to, they didn't have to do shit for women. They don't have to create no laws. They don't have to create no police force. They ain't got to create none of that shit. But they know that it's best for women to operate under this social structure, this framework that we've created. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay,
now that since that's the case, if we can find a matriarch, which there are, and I don't have a problem finding it, I can find it. If there's a matriarch where they construct a similar civilization, and in regards to just the organization, does that make them providers and protectors?
If you could find me a matriarch, I would like to see that.
Great.
I would love to see it. Yeah, look it up.
I already did a video on this. So that means that means that women who lead in societies that have some level of structure, some type of authority where people can be arrested, that makes them providers and protectors. Yes.
What we're saying is that all women, we're not speaking in absolutes, because it's almost like you're trying to pigeonhole this conversation into absolutes. We're talking in generality. Okay, so generally speaking, most men are protectors and providers, and most women are not.
Okay, so now that we've finally made it to this point.
Okay,
what provision and protection that it in today's society, not 1964, not the men from years, how they built this society. What is it today that men do to provide and protect that women don't do?
Okay, so the answer again, you still the laws and things that are making and the services that men provide within the thing. You still are voting for things right now for women to be able to have things that just aren't available to men. On top of that, Cheeky,
be safe.
Shut up, bro. On top of that too, again, it's a majority minority, not all thing. Well, that's an outlier. Matriarchal societies in the history of mankind are outliers, right? But I understand what you're saying in that point. Like I told you the other day, the difference is when men provide and protect, well, not just protect. Let's say, are we on provide and protect now, or are we just talking about protection?
I said that you're providing protection.
Well,
so that covers provision and protection.
But I'm trying to understand what I'm.
Let me ask this question real quick, Ms. Fantastic. You can reply, right? When you're saying provider protectors, right? Here's what I've understood, generally speaking, and all doesn't mean all. I'm just talking about majorities. women protect women and children. Men protect men, women, and children.
Thank you. That's what I said the other day, Hamp.
And I just don't know why that stark difference doesn't make a difference in the conversation.
It does. That's the same point I brought up the other day, and that's what I was saying. Women only protect themselves and the children. Mostly children are theirs, right? But men protect everyone, right? So that's what I'm saying is the difference. A woman is never expected to take care of a man, even though he has, situations or he has examples of where the woman is taking care of the man. That's the minority. That's an outlier. That's something that goes against what society expects, right? So the men are responsible.
When you say that, you're speaking of socialization, right?
Society.
What we're speaking to is
not just socially. That's the innateness in it, Hamp. So just like we say, a boy knows a boy and a boy knows a girl, right? So if they go into a person, it's this lesbian white girl that's going viral right now because she presents like a man. And she said she ran into a little white girl and she asked, "Are you a boy or a girl?" And she said, "Yeah, she's a girl." You see me? So what I'm saying is the innateness of it is you saying that's not right. You feel what I'm saying? The innate protection and provision factor in a man says that a man being taken care of by a woman is unnatural.
Is that because that's what society is deemed, and that's because they've been socialized that way? But if they've seen that their mother was taking care of their father for whatever the reason, whether he be disabled, whether she just makes more, if they saw that naturally, they wouldn't see that to be something abnormal. Is that not also possible? Is that not also the case too?
Yeah, but that's still that's an outlier. She gets what I'm saying. In most cases, and it's not even just household relationships or whatever. It's in society, right? It's something. Go ahead.
It's that way in our society because it's patriarchal. That's why it's literally a male view perspective. These things, we can't guarantee that these things look the same in a different society because they don't have the same worldview. How do we deal with the society, which in Sweden they're starting to see this happen, where women are earning more and they're okay with this idea of making more than the man and him being able to stay home? How do you explain the rise of women out earning the man and the fact that men are becoming stay-at-home fathers? These things, while they may be slow and the progression may not be so vibrant and in your face now, you can't take away that we're seeing differences or we're seeing a change in how we are in our society and how it works.
You got to go back to your initial point. You're bolstering an outlier to try, and then you're saying that this can potentially become the norm, right? But you're using outlier situations to try to still make your point, but you can't do that.
Okay, so if you're saying I can't use an outlier as a situation, then I'm going to ask us not to use outliers like a robber or a door or somebody.
You've already asked that.
Okay, fine. So if that is the case, then that goes back to the question: in what way do women not protect men? Because if a woman sees a man getting robbed and she calls the cops, she's protecting a man. Yes.
Yeah, but that's what we're saying. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was saying that I don't know who introduced the phone call shit. I think that's the over civilized construct. So I think maybe August or Ms. Fantastic can reply directly.
Well, no. So no. Yes, she is providing protection if she calls the police, but still, who are going to provide the protection? The men are. So ultimately, like I said, you and now I guess this is socialization though, and this is why I say it's a weird mix. It's still not socialization because she knows, Cheeky. No, so that's not even socialization. The same thing. A woman innately knows, and so this goes back to Sherelle's point. So now I'm gonna bring everything together. Great point, right?
Okay.
So because women look to men and are attracted to men that's bigger, stronger, broad shoulders, jawline.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. So a woman naturally looks for strength, physical strength in men innately, right?
Okay.
So in her mind, it says, hey, I ain't supposed to be picking up this heavy ass shit. That's not socialization. It's like this nigga here built for it. This motherfucker built like motherfucking Green Mile. I ain't supposed to be motherfucking chopping down no trees. That's what he's for. I can look at him and everything tells me him strength just from biological cues and all these other things. Me, hey, soft, whatever, so on and so forth.
But
so that's what I'm saying. Go ahead.
Okay, I agree, but I could argue the opposite because that's literally what they've been pushing. That's what they advertise. Anything I could do, anything you could do, I could do better. Rosie the Riveteer, these ideas, these things of women not being able to do certain or do these things that men do is socialized, and we're seeing the reverse happen where women are starting to do those things. They may not be doing the exact same things y'all want, but they are doing the things, especially because we're in a civilized society where we don't have to do as much manual labor.
Well, no,
We don't have to do those same things.
But no, because even in the cases of manual labor, your trades, trash workers, oil rigs, firefighting, all labor intensive. What's the name?
Men,
women. Yeah, women are not participating.
Men.
Okay. So if
With
we're
the
going,
choice.
all right. So this is my point. Do we think that a majority of men are oil rig or are the things that you're claiming, like the majority of men that you see?
So let me be
Or
clear.
you just saying just because it's a man general?
Yeah, I'm just saying the majority of physical labor jobs are male dominated, and I named some. I know oil riggers are very, very niche, so I'm not using that as a
Okay, but you're just saying just the male, just the manual labor. Okay,
blue collar physical
blue
stuff.
collar
is
work.
majority.
Okay, just yeah,
Right.
I wouldn't disagree with that. Yeah,
If
for
the
sure.
majority of jobs are white collar adjacent or white collar esque, then to say because it's a minority of men that do physical jobs is disingenuous. If we know that the world is largely, IT
White
or
collar.
technology
Yeah,
based,
I get what you're
then we
saying.
know that the majority of people are going to do those jobs.
Yeah,
but if there
okay,
was
I
a
get it.
reverse and you had to do physical, then it would be more
Then
men.
it would make sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
I get
you know what I'm saying?
No,
So
that
it's
makes
not-
sense.
yeah.
That makes sense. So yeah, if that's the case, then yeah, that wouldn't work. What I was saying there.
But it's
because if
it's
majority of our
we can even get to the but go ahead. I want to get Tay just to see what she think, but go ahead, T.
Let's go.
Tay, what's popping, kid?
Yeah, hey, what's going on?
What's goody?
Yeah, man, I've been soaking it in. So, sheesh, that was a lot. Well, I think first of all, men are naturally the protectors. I'm as a woman not protecting nothing but myself and my child, well, my fur baby for now. But I do think yes, the majority of men will protect their home or their domain because it's natural to them. So I'm gonna lean into the innate side of the argument because I feel like any man is naturally going to protect everybody, around them, especially the women and children. And yeah, I think Mr. Fantastic, I want to say, mention that a woman wants a man that is going to protect her, essentially. And I think that's true because you do want to make sure that you could be safe around that man. So yeah, a woman is going to choose somebody who she feels can protect her. But I think it was Sherelle who said something about it being a sexual desire thing. That's another level. y'all gonna have to come to the risky weekend to find out about that. But but yeah, so that's
Hold on, whoa. Hold
So-
on, y'all ain't having no mini Diddy party, is you? Goddamn, what the hell going on?
yeah, nobody said nothing about that. Calm your nerves.
It's
Calm your nerves.
women only at Tay event.
Okay.
Nah, men are allowed.
No, we're not.
But I know y'all ain't coming.
We're not allowed either. So that's that. Nip that shit in the bud ASAP.
Oh gosh. But yeah, I think that's it. Unless y'all got some questions for me, because y'all went back and forth about a lot and around in circles about a lot too. But I think that's essentially it. Did I hit all the points?
Yeah, I think your synopsis was just based on what you heard and what you agree upon. Do you think that most men are cowards?
No, I don't think so. I think that there are some situations that warrant, hey, this is too dangerous for us all, and we should get out of here. Like, I think it just depends on, the situation, and I think the man, as the protector, will make that decision, and the woman is going to follow his lead and do whatever he says in that situation because he's telling her what's best for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen Tay when like dire situations were happening, like we were at this one place and this dude had got deleted outside, right? And so everything's frantic, you know what I'm saying? And it was like a drive-by or whatever. So everything's frantic. So me and one of my buddies, it was a group of us, maybe like 4 guys, maybe like 5 or 6 girls. And instantly, my buddy, I think he took charge for the most part. He's saying do X, Y, and Z, right? You know, and then I may be saying something. The women instantly like took their place in this particular situation. It wasn't a whole lot of pushback or no shit like that. And I've seen women do that because it's smart, right? And it's just smart to do, right? Especially if you're frantic and things of that nature. And I've seen a lot of women kind of heed those instructions in dire straits.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it seemed like it was kind of natural to them. And it made sense though, too. You know what I'm saying? Not even like lording over them, just proper instruction based on the circumstance.
Right. Because, you know, we're naturally like emotional. So we're going to react to it in a way that's not conducive to what we need to be doing. So, yeah, like listen to that man. Right.
I wonder if this was socialization. The Israeli army, you know, they allowed women in the infantry for a little while. And
mandatory for them to serve.
Yeah, all of them. But the women were, yeah, that part, right. But the women were in the infantry. But the men's reactions to the women dying was causing more confusion and like they weren't as effective. So they kind of like the men had just the like men dying next to them, right? They kind of keep, but when the women were dying, they had like a very like adverse reaction to it, you know. And so if they're effective, they were a little bit less effective in those instances. I wonder is that an innate like
that's another big reason too for special forces and a lot of infantry and things where they say, because like you said, there is the compassion and things that men have for women more than men. That's factual. And men understand you know, if a woman gets taken or she gets captured, they're more likely to worry about recovering her because they, you know, the implications of what's going to happen to her versus a man. You feel me? So you compromise the mission because your instinctive, innate protection of woman shit kicks in very, very rare but dire situations like those as to where we have to save her.
And it's hard to fight. It's hard to fight.
And that's what I'm saying. It's an innate natural thing that helps us mesh. And I think that people think it's like, oh, women don't. The jobs are different, right? Naturally. There's a reason why when your mom asks you what's wrong, you're more likely to break down. It's that natural nurture, right? That is innate to women that resonates differently. You know, I could talk to my father about the same game, but when you talk to your mom start tapping on that shit that just, you know what I'm saying? You know, your mom just be knowing, right? It's just a different ball game and naturally. You know, and this is a thing, right? We're trying to like disqualify. No, it should. These are different natural abilities that we have that allow the mesh to happen. That's how I see it. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't even get to talk about like nurture, which is that innate to ladies?
I think it has to be activated,
fostered, right? So it exists, and then you build it.
Yeah, she, like I said, once she gets children of her own, it naturally kicks in for, and it's actually a thing. And remember, in what's the specific word for it? I'm trying to think. It's we call it motherly instinct, but it's something, right?
Maternal.
So you know, like when what'd you say, August?
Maternal instinct. That's what you're trying to say?
Maternal instinct. There we go. So when a dog or animal rejects its litter, right? A lot of the times, because it had her first litter, she don't know what's going on, and her maternal instincts haven't clicked, so she'll kill her own, you know what I'm saying, offspring. But what happens when she has it the second time around, you know what I'm saying, because it's whatever, maybe she was too young or whatnot, or so on and so forth, it comes around because now, you know, everything is proper from a, you know, chemical standpoint.
But don't it show up in other ways? Like, don't that maternal instinct exhibit itself prior to you know, them having children in other ways, you know what I mean? Like socialized wise, society wise.
That's the thing. Even like I get the baby thing, right? But yo, them women at the daycare that be taking care of them kids,
Yeah.
man, that shit is natural as shit to them. Like just how they be, and I'm anecdotally speaking, you know, at the daycares that I've been blessed to be, because I've seen, you know, you've seen stories. But yo, that shit is like natural as shit to them. Like how the babies be crying. I think it's innate to them. And then you
Even the job choice.
wake it up.
Even job choice. That's what I'm trying to say. Even job. I agree.
So if because now so do we agree that women's nurturing has to be activated? Do we agree to that?
I'm thinking that it's not activated. I think it shows up in other ways.
No, the nurturing is natural. The maternal instinct is what needs to be activated.
Is what, okay, so not nurturing, but maternal instincts.
Nurturing is natural for us. That's why a hug from your mother feels different than a hug from your father.
So nurturing ain't natural for all humans, just women?
No.
Men don't nurture? Fathers don't nurture?
Man, we're not doing this. I'm not doing this. It's already 11:15. I'm done. I don't care.
Hey, look, Hamp, what you were just doing with your son 2 hours ago. That's what that was.
He's a father.
Big Chuck.
That's my point. I'm saying, nobody had to teach him or force him to do that. Is my point.
He just got finished doing push-ups.
But that's nurturing. You're nurturing him, whether it's in a manly way or not. We still nurture. Nurturing is not just
we're talking about the innate thing, right? We understand as a father, right? You duty, responsibility. You have to mold and guide, right? Teach, train, coach, etc. Right? But women, I'm telling you, the way in which women do it and tap into it, that shit is instincts, man. You could tell if a person got an affinity or has a natural proclivity to do certain things, even sports, right? I could tell, like at the gym, this motherfucker don't got no business in here. I could tell after he get punched in his face for the first time. I could tell things that come natural to people. That is natural to women overwhelmingly, and they do a good job at it. That's all I'm saying. I ain't gonna fight about anything, huh?
No, I don't know why you said that. Yeah, I said,
yeah, it's interesting, man. It's interesting. Well, let me ask a yes or no then. Because it's about that time. Do you think nurture is natural or innate to women, Cheek? And we can talk about it. We can keep going with this shit.
I'm not gonna keep going with this. I don't think so.
Not tonight. But you go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think generally speaking, the way that we are is just how we are socially. I'm not saying that there aren't any biological differences, but I think there needs to be. I don't have any studies in front of me to kind of support what I'm saying, but I've looked at these things before, and a lot of the things that we think are natural or innate tend to be social or socialized, and that's just what the studies took away from it. Now there are certain studies like the one and I think it was Amsterdam, where both men and women went, even though they were raised in egalitarian societies, women was still pushed toward or still had more proclivity towards like nursing and things like that. But the other part of the study said we aren't aware of how they were raised in the home. That's so again, this all comes back to parenting. There's so many different factors for me to go, I don't know, but I'll look it up. I'll look more into it. I think I appreciate the differences that men and women have, and I'm fine with it, and it don't really bother me. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can just say everything is just because I'm a man. I have a penis and testicles, so I know how to protect and provide. Like I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that the socialization does matter. I think what we're finding is, or what we're actually understanding when Shah kind of introduced, like it's like a happy medium, is that I think since time immemorial, right, we can't go back that far, but men are, how you say, cultured into the things that make most sense for them, or to the things that come natural to them. So it makes sense to teach the boy how to protect, right, and be physical, because it's already natural to him. It comes easy to him. And in turn, you culture the little girls or cultivate maybe in a different way because it's already innately in them. So that's why you teach them and guide them in that way. Right? We ain't just picking by accident saying, boy, protect. No, you got the physical capabilities. You have the disposition to do so. And then you foster it. That's what I'm thinking.
It's almost like it's almost like in his analogy.
It's your final thought, August.
I'm cool with it. For sure. It's almost like in the analogy, Cheeky.
Oh, let me hit the horn.
Appreciate the dog for real. It's almost like in your analogy, we have to go back to everybody not passing forth information that we know has progressed our species forward and have to try everything from scratch before we can determine what is socialized and what is innate. And the thing about it is that because we understand that there are certain things in the past that our predecessors have done that has caused them, not to live a fruitful life, we have to change our mindset and pass that information forward. But then you classify it as socialization. And what I'm thinking is, and I got to look into this a little bit more, but what I'm thinking is that the definition of socializing is the experiments that we're experiencing right now, where you got a rise in people with transgenderism. I think that's a socialized experience. That's socializing people into thinking that, or the idea of, this egalitarian idea. That's a social experiment to me. Like, just because it innately that's not how things have been going. But we're trying these experiments, and we haven't really seen, and we won't see, probably not in our lifetime, how they turn out. That's the same thing with a matriarchy. There may have been a social experiment where they've tried a matriarchy, but it doesn't exist anymore because, socially speaking, it's not the predominantly best way of us moving forward as a species. But I just like that.
Relly, what you think, man?
I'm not gonna say it. But this was fun. Y'all all made really good points. Y'all was fighting. Y'all was losing, but y'all was still fighting. Don't make a face. I'm just saying, innately we blink. Nobody teaches us that. Innately we breathe. Nobody teaches us that. Come out the womb. Nobody teaches us. It's just in us. We know we need to breathe. We know we need to eat. We don't eat, we'll cry. Emotions. That's innate to us. See, a lot of stuff that we do is just social programming. Keep trying to tell y'all we are in a controlled environment and we do not control the environment. We're like little test dummies or something. We're like lab rats. Other than that, great show. Thank you, Happy Wampy. Oh, thank you, Miss Jilly, for my cash app.
Let me have.
What? That's not innate to me. I don't know.
Well, that blink when you doing.
I don't understand none of that. But thank you for providing space. Thanks for everybody who sent the super chat. Thanks for everybody that's in the chat.
No doubt. Mr. Fantastic.
Brother. Hey man, great convo, man. Listen, it's a lot of things in life that just are the way they are, and the longer you live it, the more you understand it. No matter how you put the in most situations, men are going to, and they've shown it. It's been historical context as to where if men are faced with, danger, death, and a lot of these things, a lot of them rise to the occasion. Cheeky made the greatest point, and Sean too. Most people are never put in that position. So I think in, saying that most people are cowards because they've never had an opportunity is just a little unfair. But shout out, man.
Indeed. Sean, what's shaking?
Yeah. Everybody made some really good points, man. Y'all made me think tonight. It's a really good discussion. I'm gonna stand on the fact that men are natural nurturers. Men are the most important parent, and we do more nurturing than anybody because we nurture everybody, including each other.
Damn.
Shit like that.
Sean just gonna start a whole nother necessary conversation.
On the next episode.
For the next episode, they gonna be shooting at Sean, boy. Say what up, though?
All right, I'm making it quick. So us being manipulated with social or socializations or media isn't new. But I don't think that's an excuse for people to not lean into what's natural or what's innately natural for them. And for me, that is protecting and providing as a man, and then nurturing as a woman. And I just feel like the sooner we fall into those roles, the better we will be. And you can't lean on the excuses of our parents and our ancestors, because we can choose better. You can choose to do better. Just because you've seen a certain thing doesn't mean there aren't other possibilities and other paths to take. So, yeah, I'll say that. But thank you, Happy. Shout out to you and the tribe. Much love. And
No doubt. Uncut with the 10 says, peace, my G. Appreciate you, man. Let me know what was wrong with your Discord thing. I remember you had sent a message. CJ with the 2 says, everybody had good arguments, even Sherelle. Good job. It's fantastic. The $5 Hamp said, ain't finna be no motherfucking freak off on my watch. Hell yeah, you can cancel that shit, nigga. None of that shit. Fuck out of here. Aaron with the
Damn, you gonna cut off my opportunity, dog? That's crazy. I thought you loved me.
I do, nigga. That's what.
I thought you I ain't gonna be no Rico KC.
I thought you fucked with the kid. Hell, what the fuck going on, bro? Why you messing Rico? Why you
messing Rico? Nigga. It'd be like a slip and slide in that motherfucker. Hell nah.
Lube everywhere.
Hell nah. I come in that bitch like a fucking dad, and I'm swinging all type of nigga. Hell nah.
Get your goddamn ass up out of here, nigga. Come on, Pops, you being lame, man. A hole's right here. The hole right here.
Shooting the ceiling and all that, nigga. I'm on my shine shit, man. Aaron with the $2 said, y'all messing up Cheeky house husband agenda. Aaron with the $2 said, Cheeky promoting house husbands to the fullest. CJ with the $2 said, they know it's best for their family to be civil. He said, free take, man. Salute. Now, a lot of great points. I have fun retorting and learning, so I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the fever and the intelligence that every point was presented with, man. I don't want that to go unnoticed, man. Like I said, you can have fun, we can fuss. It's civil, it's all love, as it should be. That's how you get the furthest in these conversations. Sean just dropped a bomb that we must see if somebody could fucking either help detonate or defuse. Goddamn. So, speaking of that, I watch this movie Hurt Locker when you get a chance. It's pretty good. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Be safe and do the right thing. Jump in the Discord. Get your tickets to DC, man. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend and tell a friend. And we out.